Good evening, everybody. Stunt Hangar fans all around the land. It's Friday night, and welcome to the show. It is December the 6th, Friday, December the 6th, and so we're kicking off yet another weekend. Hope everybody had a great week. Maybe you did something fun you can come in and tell us about. I would love to have a good show and tell if anybody's up to that. And we've got the links posted in the usual places. And that means if you're a member of the Stunt Hangar Control Line forums, the link is in the At the Bench thread, which can be found if you go to the main forum page where the open forum is and scroll down that page and look for another title called At the Bench. Open that particular forum section, and the link to this video is there where you can click in with your microphone and camera and join us live on screen. And if you would rather lurk in the shadows or post in the chat box, you can use the YouTube channel on the Stunt Hangar YouTube page. That's the Stunt Hangar Control Line YouTube page, and the homepage will have video and the chat box. Oh, look who we got. Hang on just a second, guys. I'll be right with you. We've got a chat box on the YouTube page where you can post if you want to communicate with us your text, and we'll try to incorporate that into our conversations here. And now we'll welcome our first live video guest. Looks like Tom Rammel and a couple of grandsons or a couple of grandchildren. How you doing? How you doing, people?
Hi, Rusty. These are my two grandsons, Abner and Ian. And they're my
Abner on your right and Ian on your left. Is that it?
This is Abner.
Hey, Abner. And Ian, good to meet you.
This is
Thanks
Rusty.
for coming. Thanks for joining us.
And they're just gonna be here just a couple of minutes, and then they're going to bed.
Okay.
But
well,
they have permission.
Yes.
Their dad's not here, but they have permission from their dad to be on for a short time.
Okay. Well, excellent. I'm glad y'all could come on the show. We sit around and talk about building and flying airplanes all night long, and hopefully y'all are interested in that. Have you ever been out with your granddad and watched him fly planes, or watched him work on planes in his workshop?
Remember going to Oshkosh?
We went to Oshkosh once.
That sounds like big fun.
Did you fly control line?
We flew a control line airplane.
Oh, that's so fun. I'm glad y'all were able to do that. Yeah, that's
At Oshkosh.
Have y'all ever helped him glue anything or saw or cut any wood in the shop and building an airplane? Y'all ever watched Granddad in the shop?
We built a electronic project tonight that they learned how to solder.
Oh, that's always a good thing to know. That's one of the first things you need to know.
You want to show it? You want to go get it and show it?
Yeah, you can go get it if you want to show me what it is. The world needs people who can solder correctly. No cold solder joints.
They have fun doing those little things.
Thanks for introducing them to us.
Hold it up, right?
Let's see what you got there.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks pretty complicated. See if we can get the camera focused on that.
Turn the switch on.
Okay, let's see. Tell me about it. Oh, it's got a LED in it. Oh, look at that.
Hold it up close. Push the button. And then guess
what
number.
That's pretty cool. What do you use that for?
LED roulette project, just for fun.
That looks like fun.
They try and guess the number that it's gonna. They try and guess the number it's gonna stop on.
Well, is that what you did your soldering work on? Did you solder some of that?
Did you solder?
Yeah, we soldered.
Did you? It looks like you did a good job. Looks like you did a good job because all the lights are blinking.
Yeah, you
All right.
Let's-
So, is there anything else you wanted to say about Oshkosh when you went to Oshkosh?
Oh yeah. Tell me what
there
you
was
want to do.
like play airplanes and stuff, and there was one that we got to pedal.
Oh
And
really?
then the wheel and the front spin.
The propeller.
Yeah, the propellers.
Yeah, the propeller. Yeah, that's what makes them go. Have you ever been able to ride in an airplane yet?
No.
Maybe someday soon. That's a lot of fun too.
Their dad is a private pilot, commercial pilot, twin engine rated, and
Okay, so
probably hasn't flown in a while though.
well, they'll be riding in an airplane someday soon, I hope. That's big fun. So is flying the little model planes like we play with too. Take them out to the field, fly them over the grass, crash them sometimes, come back and put them back together and take them out and fly them again. If you're not crashing, you're not trying hard enough.
So, do you guys say goodnight to Rusty? And then
Good
go
night.
get in bed.
Good night, Rusty.
Good night, guys. I really enjoyed meeting you. Y'all sleep tight.
Bye.
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 All right. That's pretty cool. That was Tom Rammel and his grandsons. And Tim Holmes out there on the tube says, hi, all. Hey, Tim, glad to have you here. I think you were in with us the other night. QZRC 101 is with us. Hey, mate, love your tube. Thank you, QZ. I think that's our Australian connection, if I'm not mistaken. And excuse me. Oh, Tim says Pan Am TWA. So does that mean you're a pilot, Tim? Mike just came in and said, one quick question, Rusty. I read or saw somewhere that some people store their thinned dope in the refrigerator. I've never heard of such a thing. What would be the purpose of doing as well? Anytime you've got solvents, if you keep them cold, then they are less likely to react and age, so to speak. So I suspect that would extend their shelf life. And yeah, I keep all kinds of stuff in the fridge. I keep thin dope. I keep glue in the refrigerator, and whatever else. That's where I keep my Loctite. Anything I don't use very often, and it extend just to extend the shelf life. Oh, Tim says no, not a Pan Am TWA pilot, just old. Well, old's good as long as you keep getting older and older. QZ says, yeah, Melbourne, Australia. Okay, good. Welcome, QZ. Glad you dropped in because I know that it's an inconvenient time for you. And I got my globe right here. I'd have to count time zones to see how far off you are, but you are probably sometime tomorrow afternoon. It's Friday night here, 9:50 p.m. So it's probably Saturday afternoon in Melbourne. And just guessing on that. But anyway, Tom disappeared. Let me see. How do I get my picture back? I'll click on this. There we go. Now I can at least see myself while I talk. And let's see. What else was I going to say? Yeah, okay, midday Saturday. I was thinking later in the afternoon. And Gerald Wimmer and his kids come in from New Zealand, and they're similar. They're tomorrow. That's where I got my guest from, actually. Bob Bishop says they never said anything about keeping dope refrigerated in AP school, A&P school. Well, if they didn't say anything about it, I guess maybe it's not that important. And or maybe being that it has to be certified by the FAA and the NTSB or whatever authorities have to certify that thing. Maybe testing on the long term has not been done between or quality control testing hadn't been done between dope mixtures that have been kept cold and dope mixtures that have been kept at room temperature. I can't answer that, Bob. I just know that reactions always slow as temperature drops, and reactions are what cause shelf life to progress. And so I just chuck stuff in the refrigerator to keep it as fresh as possible. And I could be, maybe I'm ruining some stuff. I keep my super glue in the fridge that has not even been opened yet. I have kept super glue in the fridge that has been opened, and then when I got it out, it was not really any good. It had still thickened. So don't know if that had anything to do with it or not. I know if there is, it might have been opening and closing the door and the changing moisture in the air that caused the CA glue that had been opened to firm up, because it is a reaction with the hydrogen molecules in the air we breathe, I believe, is what its curing process mainly consists of. And let's see. Mike says, I live with my sister. I think, wait a minute, I gotta make my chat box bigger. I'm cutting the edges off. I live with my sister. I surely won't be storing any dope in the refrigerator. Yeah, well, yeah, whatever sis says. So we'll see. That's something we can ask our crowd about tonight and see what everybody says. Oh, I want to remind anybody that comes on the YouTube too, the super chat box is down at the bottom, that block $sign. If anybody feels like contributing to our hobby budget and Sparky's server fees, etc., then we appreciate that. I get a little slice of that for my hobby budget, and Sparky uses it for paying server fees and buying camera equipment and all the things he needs for broadcasting. And Mike asks, "Can you still get Bob Smith super glue?" Yes, that's my go-to brand. I prefer BSI or Bob Smith Industries super glue, or CA. Actually, Bob Smith calls it CA. I think aeromodelers are the only hobbyists anywhere or general users that call super glue CA, because whenever I say CA, like somebody will say, "What's that on your finger?" If I've got a CA bandage and a piece of paper towel glued to my hand, which I do sometimes, I'll tell them, "Oh, it's a CA patch. I just glue it down with CA glue. In a couple of days, it falls off and it's all healed up." And I just get blank stares no matter what I'm talking about. If I mention CA, nobody knows what the heck I'm talking about. So super glue. But Bob Smith does, I think it does say CA on the label. Most of the Bob Smith stuff that is ordered by hobby shops gets custom labels for the hobby shop. Like our shop in Rock Hill that just closed was called Hobby Stop, and their CA bottles had Hobby Stop glue written on the front of it. Hey, McBride 001, that's I think that's Ruben, says I've got a small refrigerator in the garage to store glue and paint in, and that does not have the wife's food in it. Yeah, I got a dorm fridge in my workshop. That's what I use. I don't put it in the house refrigerator. I wouldn't put any kind of chemicals in the house refrigerator. That's just not a recommended safety procedure. So yeah, I'm having a little trouble. If y'all think I look distracted, it's because my chat box keeps cutting the edge off of what I'm reading. I got it fixed now. Somebody just joined, and let's see, who have we got? I don't have a name for the new joinee. Hey, who have we got here?
That's Mark.
Welcome. Oh, Mark. Hey, how you doing, man? Hadn't seen you in a long time.
Yeah, I've been out of it for a while.
you feel you're okay, or you just been occupied otherwise?
Back and shoulder have kept me from doing anything lately.
Ow, I'm sorry. I can
That's fine.
certainly commiserate with that, but I'm glad you're up for a visit tonight. Hey, if you want to click the three dots at the bottom right, if you're on a computer anyway, at the top of the context menu that pops up where it says profile, you can type your name in, and that way we'll remember to call you Mark or whatever you prefer to be called. I think this is the first time you've been on since we've been using this new Jitsi.org video streaming software. So I hope you're back and everything is feeling better now.
Yeah, so far.
Good.
So I had that. Does that pop up for a name?
Let me hover over here. It says His Royal Bena something ...
Beneficence.
Is that what you typed?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it says BENE ... So it must be longer than it likes.
Okay, I'll change
What
it.
did you say? His Royal Benefactor or something like that?
Beneficence. As in beneficial.
Oh, okay.
So what
Now
y'all
it says Mark. A little simpler. HRB. Have you been tinkering lately? You're a famous tinkerer and sort of a inventor and fabricator on especially control line stuff and little hobby stuff. So have you been doing anything interesting lately?
Since I haven't flown in forever, I just threw together a really quick foamy so I can beat it up this winter. Did I lose you?
Nope, we still here.
Yeah,
Just
your video is locking up. I don't know if it's me or something else.
it looks like my stream is a little on the weak side. Let me go over and see what the YouTube stream looks like. And now we got a good stream between. Oh yeah, I see what's going on. That's my local bandwidth, but the Jitsi and YouTube bandwidth seems to be better. And I just froze my preview screen, so maybe that'll help. And now it turned yellow instead of red. So tell me if that looks any better. Am I somewhat clearer?
A little better. The audio was great, just the video lags a lot.
A lot of times, people who are challenged for bandwidth will turn their cameras off and just talk with us in the black. But right now, hopefully, I can keep a facial presence on, but I'll do whatever I have to. Now it turned red again, too. And there's not a thing I can do about that except for reboot. And I don't know if that would help. And I'd have to cut the show off to do that. So we'll just go with what we got. But you look fine, and everybody else that comes in should be unaffected by my blurriness. As QZ says, he buys Bob Smith epoxy in Australia, and he thinks it's great stuff. And yeah, I do. That's my favorite. In fact, I got some Bob Smith right here. This is the hobby stop Bob Smith. I don't have one of the little extenders on it because I cut it. I have to snip it every few times I use it, and it got too short, so I took it off. But if you look down at the bottom, it always has the BSI logo right there under the barcode, and says Bob Smith Industries, and they are in Atascadero, California. I don't have much light, but I think it says Atascadero, California. I know it says California.
That is correct.
It's good stuff. It is the longer it's exposed to air, the more it'll thicken up. Ah, there you go. You buy the bigger ones. I'm afraid if I bought one of those, I'd never finish the bottle of it. Yeah, and I usually buy the super thin, and then some medium, which is 5 to 10 seconds. If I'm buying medium, I can get that at just about any hobby shop. I mean, not hobby shop, but any hardware store or Walmart or something. But I can't find the super ultra thin CA anywhere except for a bona fide modeling shop, and other than buying it online. But yeah, Mike says he's tried different brands, but Bob Smith's always the best. And I hear that when super glue first came out, that Bob Smith was the manufacturer that actually put it on the market for public sales. And I think this stuff's been around a lot longer than we've been able to buy it for household use. I think it was manufactured for the military and also for medical purposes. I think it seems like probably back in the 70s is when they first started advertising the guy that stuck his hard hat to the I-beam and hung himself from his hat with just a dot of super glue. Another brand is Zap, Z-A-P, and that's popular among modelers too. And I guess it's just about as good. I like the bottles that the BSI comes in better than the bottles that the Zap comes in, because the Zap keeps getting clogged. I also like, and I wish I could show you, Loctite makes a particular one that's about 5-second glue, and it's a little triangular shaped bottle. It doesn't have any fancy ridges on it or anything. And it will fit one of those long Teflon or nylon extensions. You have to force it on. And that cap, if you screw that cap back on, it's just a twist and turn cap. It's got a pin and buried way deep down inside of it, and that will last for the life of the bottle of glue. That's the most most dependable CA that I've bought, is that Loctite. And I wish I had a bottle I could show you, but I don't. But Walmart and a lot of stores have it by the register too. So good stuff. And it's also made by, it's not Bob Smith and it's not made by Zap. It is made by Henkel, Henkel. So that tells me that the brand, the Henkel brand, super glues are quality too. So I'd go Bob Smith, Henkel, and Zap in that order of preference. And it's Friday night. I wonder where all the visitors are. Tom Ramel was in a little while ago with his grandsons, and he's putting them to bed right now. And looks like Mark went all black and white on us. You still there, Mark?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Your camera just went black and white. That usually means the bandwidth is struggling for you too.
Give me a second here.
There's not much you can do about it. Just go with the flow. And as long as we can hear you, we're in good shape. I need to bring a storybook or something so I can keep talking when we don't have very many guests in here and we have dead air spots. Oh, here comes Sparky joining us. Good evening, Sparky. Oh, you got the earphones going tonight.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine.
Hey, Sparky.
What's up? Let me make sure that the headset is working.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Can you still hear me okay?
I can, yeah.
Okay, so this is working. It's not getting it off the camera then.
That is correct. Yeah, I can tell the difference between the microphones. The other microphone sounds better, but both are clear enough.
You mean to tell
That
me
one.
that the USB sounds better? The camera
Well,
microphone?
when you had your hand up like this, it sounded different, but that
Yeah.
was where I got that idea from. I figured it was the one on your headphones that was making that noise, and it didn't sound as good when you had your hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't the camera that was catching the.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, if you're talking through that little boom mic in front of your mouth, then it's doing fine. It sounds normal now. It's fine. So
Let's try this. This is off the camera. Can you hear it?
yeah,
Which sounds better, the camera or the boom mic?
I think the little boom extension in front of your face sounds better.
Okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah, that sounds fine. And we just got a super chat from McBride 001. That's either Steve or Ruben. I'm not sure which, but thanks. Whichever one of you guys it is, we appreciate it. Keeps us free and keeps us going. Supports our hobby budget and Sparky's server fees and equipment costs.
We're getting ready to go to Vimeo because of this YouTube apocalypse or whatever.
I don't think I've heard of that one. So it's a video host besides YouTube. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a host beside YouTube.
Okay. Do they have the video? I mean, the chat capabilities and everything like we do here?
Depends on how much I want to pay.
Yeah. That was Ruben. Thanks, Ruben. We appreciate it. Well, we'll see how that works out. So far, Jesse's been doing as well as they can for us. But
I understand that, but it's the FTC and the YouTube rules and all that after the 10th. That's why we can't allow any cussing on this at all, because we could be fined up to $42,000 per video.
yeah, yeah. I made a pretty clear announcement about that on the last show, and then tonight I kind of got sidetracked and didn't go into it at the beginning of the show. I intend to announce it at the beginning of every show, but I kind of missed it tonight.
Need to turn that down.
Oh yeah, can you mute your mic while you're standing, Mark?
Yeah, I turned him down.
Sorry about that. Didn't think it'd be that loud.
Oh well, I just dropped in to say hello or whatever.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. We needed the warm bodies anyway, because we're a little short on visitors so far tonight. But we've had a really good string of high quality shows lately. I'm happy with the crowds and happy with the shows we've had over the past month. It's looked real good. We've had interesting conversations and stayed on topic. People from around the world coming in, new people every night. So it's been great.
Been doing real
And
good on Saturdays for them Saturdays at John's.
yeah, I'm usually busy at the time you're on and can't come look. But I remember asking you last week, and you said you had a good crowd.
And those
I'll try
Saturdays
to do it.
those Saturdays at John's usually get about 250 views in one day.
Wow, that's more than we get here.
Yeah.
I'll try to look in because I'm going to be here all by myself this weekend. I got a bachelor weekend coming up, so that's cool. And I'll have nothing better to do than to tune in and watch. So might look for you tomorrow.
Let's see. Let me look here. Creator Studio. I'll get you the stats on what we did last Saturday.
Okay. While you're looking that up, we were talking about our favorite CAs, and I was of the opinion that Bob Smith is my favorite. I was wondering what you like to use. Do you have a favorite between Bob Smith and or Zap or Hinkle or any of those manufacturers of CA glue?
I use Bob Smith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
the days at John's, the first one, the top one is covering the Tucker at John's at 381 views. John's Nobler and the Tucker work last weekend is 372 views. Then another day at John's is 275 views. And making a canopy is 275 views.
Wow, that's incredible. We don't. I'm surprised we don't get more now that you say that for this show.
We in the last 48 hours we've had 493 views.
Well, that shows a lot of people are interested in what you got. I definitely want to watch the covering one because that's something I want to do very soon. In fact, being that I'm on my own this weekend, I can get out to the shop. Maybe I'll get something actually accomplished instead of just talking about it.
We really picked up a lot of viewers. I mean, subscribers. Let's see here. And let's see, we went up 23. So we're picking up one a day. So that's pretty good.
Subscribers to Stunt Hangar,
No,
or this is
to
YouTube.
YouTube video side. Stunt Hangar's about 4 to 5 a day since I shut it off to guest viewing.
Yeah.
Let's see if I got any more to let in. Yep, one member now. You know, I hate to turn them away, but when they use those fake names and stuff. See, like, here's one here. Flying around New York City. That's his username. It's Crincy at AOL.com. I'd love to approve him, but I'm not going to.
I can understand people don't want to put their names out, but you got a good point, and it's so hard to manage as many people as throw spam at you if you just open the doors. It's impossible to manage.
Well, here's the deal. They don't have to put their name out. They just need to use their real first and last name as their username, and their display name could be Joe Bellcrank. So nobody else sees that. But in case any stuff goes down, I want to know who did it.
Yep. Looks like Stephen just joined us. Which Stephen is this? McBride, I believe.
Yeah.
We'll find out in a second. That was Ruben that gave us the super chat. Hey, Steve.
Hey,
How you doing?
okay. Doing well. How are you? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good.
Good. Good deal.
And
I got my
I
my
had a
free
bad problem. Excuse me. Go ahead, Sparky.
I got my free flannel T-shirt from Snap-on today. Cost me $108.
Free for $108. Huh?
Yeah,
Somebody, somebody got the bad end of that deal.
yeah.
You're gonna have to
Even the
explain
free
that.
stuff at Snap-on, even the free stuff at Snap-on's expensive.
That's exactly right. Well, I got a free jacket that cost
How much?
15,000. So a free shirt for $108 is pretty good.
We
How
got
do they consider that free?
Well, they entice you with a free object to buy something, you know. So you got to buy something to get the free stuff.
Okay.
I had speakers and I got a barbecue and I got barbecue utensils and jackets and I got all kind of stuff for free that costs
so,
ridiculous. Cheaper to
so
buy it.
Snap-on, is that your go-to tool supplier? Snap-on? Is that your favorite tools?
It's the only tools I have is Snap-on.
Really?
Yep, he comes every Friday with his hand out just like that.
Yeah. Nah, I just got. I guess I've got home home mechanics tools like Craftsman and Cobalt, which they're fine, but probably not up to working man's grade. Somebody that uses them all day, every day.
If you're a professional mechanic, you need super quality tools so you don't round off bolts and break stuff. And to be honest, Snap-on are the only Torx bits I've ever used that don't break. And you still break those, but they replace them, you know.
That's why I like using Klein tools because they warranty their tools also and replace them if they break. Klein's are the best.
Yeah, but how often does Klein sell Torx bits?
Klein sells just about every type of bit, but they're a big product on all electrical tools. For all electrical tools.
I have,
torque wrenches and stuff, they really don't have torque wrenches. They do have torque wrenches because we do have to go to a certain torque when we're taking down our mills.
if you take a Klein,
so they do have torque wrenches for that.
If you take a Klein Torx bit and put it in my impact driver, I'll break it. I'm telling you.
Everybody that signs in has a message that says, "Hey, Sparky, everybody that signs in tonight comes with a message that says moderator rights are granted to." It was Trayan and it was Mark and everybody that signs in on video. It says moderator rights have been granted. I've never seen that message before just now.
Well, that's something that you did on setup when you opened it up.
Yeah, I didn't do anything different, but I'll go back and look.
Was that in Jitsi or in YouTube?
That was in Jitsi. All I did was say follow me, and then that's about all I do in Jitsi.
Yeah, well, that follow me must have done something.
Maybe. Oh,
settings.
Well. Unless it causes some kind of problem. Yeah, everybody's got a star under their little film strip picture, and so that must have something to do with that too. Let me see what happens when I hover over that star. Nothing. You click the star on.
It says moderator when you hold it over the star.
Yeah, it does. So everybody.
So go back into the settings and unclick follow me because everybody's looking at you.
Okay.
I don't know if that'll work either, but
We're about to find out. Okay, unclicking. Everyone follows me. Okay. None of the boxes are clicked now. Okay. No, it didn't change anything. I'm not sure what that does. I think if I highlight somebody's picture, it makes it big for everybody. Like if I go to Trayan and click, boom, Trayan got big for me, but I bet he didn't for everybody else.
No.
Let me undo that. I'm gonna put follow me back on then, because that's how I make sure everybody can see.
I don't know. Something in settings.
Yeah, no telling. Come on. Okay. Yeah, it's glitchy tonight. I can't even get the check mark to show up at that time. There we go. Okay. And now I'm gonna I'll click on Mark, and now has everybody got a big mark on their screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Unclick. Kill it before it multiplies. There we go. Back to normal. Tom brought his grandsons in tonight. He was our first visitor, and they told me about learning to solder with Tom and showed me a little project that they'd made. That was pretty cool.
How
Talked
old are
about going to
hello? How old are his grandsons?
5
How
and
can't do that.
okay.
We can't do that anymore.
Okay. I didn't know that we couldn't. I thought as long as they were accompanied by a parent. So I'll make sure I mention that in my opening statements. That means Sam Limekey can't come on either, huh?
Nope. I mean, I don't know until this business, the new YouTube rules are horrid. Until this business kind of levels out, I don't know what to do. We can't. I mean, they're not supposed to be kid friendly or not. We can't entice kids. I don't know exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Enticing is it's something completely different. I mean, if you try to bribe them to come on a site to watch something,
Nope. Stop. It says in the YouTube thing, if you're showing any children, I've read the rules. If you're showing any children, any cartoons, any animation, anything that would be enticing for a kid to watch, the FTC can fine you, and I don't want to be fined.
Oh, okay.
We'll err on the side of caution then.
Yeah, they sure want to ruin it for everybody.
Yep.
Stupid shit.
As a matter of
alarm.
As a matter of fact, Rusty, we might, because children came on, you might want to market made for kids, because then, I don't know, it has something to do, and I don't think it's fair, because I'm not collecting the data on these people. YouTube and their Google AdSense are the ones that are collecting the data on these people. Why am I responsible? I don't get that at all. Copper.
Steve McBride, can you still hear us? Okay, well, who was that? Oh, that was Steve. Yeah, you're all black and white, Steve. I was just seeing if you could still hear us. Has anybody gotten out this week and done anything in the field? Any flying going on, or is it bad weather everywhere?
Man, yesterday was such a beautiful weather. I wish I could have gone out and just have some fun.
We've had great weather here in Columbia.
It was unbelievable yesterday over here. Like in a 50s, 60s quiet and light breeze.
Not a cloud in the sky.
Not a cloud in the sky. I mean, good God, you could have get out and just stay there for the rest of the day. Ridiculously beautiful.
See, here's the rule summary. I'll put it in the chat. Let's see.
Okay, Rusty, can you see me now? I rooted back in.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
It's bad bandwidth all over tonight, but we've got a good connection between Jitsi and YouTube. It's just individually we've all got crappy connections.
What's the age limit that they said you can be on this now?
13.
13?
Says,
okay.
Rule summary. COPPA imposes certain requirements on operators of websites or online services dedicated to children under 13 years of age, which were not dedicated to children. And let's see, I posted it in chat. Services that have actual knowledge that they are collecting personal information. I'm not collecting any personal information on kids. Matter of fact, I've set Stunt Hangar to be, you have to be 18 years old now.
I think we're being about as careful as we can, and that's about all we can do. Besides what you're saying is switching services, and when we do that, maybe it'll be a little freer.
No, not really, because it's a federal rule. It's not a YouTube rule.
But YouTube makes news better, so that might dictate what gets hit on. But we'll see.
What does COPPA? Directed at children under 13 that collected, use, or disclose personal information from children, which I don't. So I don't know. You know, they're collecting the data and serving up the ads. I don't do that. We might want to demonetize these ads or these shows, Rusty.
Does that mean Super Chat will quit working if we demonetize?
I don't know.
We'll find out. I'll demonetize it next time I start a show.
Well, we only got 4 days before the rule takes effect.
Okay. Well, okay, Stephen McBride, I know you got decent flying weather. What you been doing this week? You get out with any airplanes, or you got to work all day? I guess.
Week, no. I had to work all day. I work every week, and it's actually been a little bit cooler out. So no, haven't gotten out yet. Maybe this weekend. See how this weekend rides. Now you go out, you don't have to go out so early in the morning, so you get out about 9, 10 o'clock. Weather's nice then. Usually warms up. I'll see how it is this weekend. Try a couple planes that I got hanging up on the wall, and they're test planes. See if I can get working with electric.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to get out and just try some old beaters or try some planes that need trimming and do something different.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to work on planes that need some trimming and also some adjusting and try to get more knowledgeable to electric and spend this off-season time to have a little bit of fun practice.
Hey Rusty, if you look in the chat box, I just posted another thing, which it doesn't make sense. It says posting a picture of someone else's child isn't always a violation of privacy according to the Facebook image privacy rights. If you're the parent or legal guardian of that child, then posting a picture is perfectly fine. If the photo was taken in public, then that's fine to post the photo in most countries. So this is a really stupid law. I mean,
so if it's a group photo and a kid's involved in a group photo picture, like you have a club and you have kids that are involved in it, and then you're going to post it and show it. Here's our club, and we have 3 or 4 kids that are members. They're going to make an issue about it.
I don't know what they're doing.
You have a contest and you have kids in it, and an event, and you run like a ring-a-thon. You have kids involved in it, and you take a picture of that, and it's a group photo saying, "Here's all the kids that participated in something like that." That's a violation.
If you're the parent or the legal guardian of the child, then posting a picture is perfectly fine. If you, as the guardian of the kid, post the picture, then I guess it's in the public domain and fine. I don't know. That could be subject to change at any damn minute too.
I mean, that's a questionable thing. Because we run a lot of fun fly events and learn to fly at fun fly events. So how would that be violate? You know, you're showing, hey, we got this kid that came out with his mom and dad, and we showed them how to fly. So with the song, the kid's holding the airplane with a big smile on his face. That's a violation all of a sudden. That sounds kosher there.
It's so confusing. It'll probably never be enforced. Really, I don't know.
I wouldn't bet on that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take the chance. We'll err on the side of caution until we know otherwise.
You know, that kind of puts us in a situation where we're scared shitless to say anything or do anything on a video chat. I mean, this is just ridiculous.
This is true.
I mean, people can't, you know, you're so afraid of you might hurt somebody's feelings. Let's make a bunch of freaking stupid idiot rules, you know, for everybody else, you know, because somebody's feelings might get hurt or some stupid idiot might say something, whatever.
And this is the information protection too. People obviously can't take care of themselves is what the law applies. So the law is going to make sure they're taken care of and watch out.
Well, Terrain, in the same sense, my feelings are hurt that they're making it harder for us to have our fun.
Your feelings doesn't matter, you know. It just matters that what matters is the feelings of the one that might
be a pain in the ass.
come in and to ask a question, and he's not even part of the group. Those are the ones that are being protected, but the group that enjoys the conversation, has a good time with it, and a lot of kids are learning from this and stuff like that. Nobody's trying to sell them anything. We give everything to the kids. They should put for free. We can care less, right? Information, whatever they want to do, you know. Why can't
this business is causing us to have a crappy show tonight, you know, because it's dominating our discussion because we don't know what the hell to do.
Exactly. We might say something that somebody's going to take the wrong way.
Yeah.
Well, there is one good thing. Most of the audience on this channel, let's see here, videos. Let's see, analytics. I'll tell you the age group that watches these videos. Okay. The average age, gender in the last 28 days, 98% male, 13 to 17 years old, 0%. 18 to 24, 0%. 25 to 34, 0%. 35 to 44, 0%. 45 to 54, 9.4%. 55 to 64, 60%. And 65 plus, 30%.
So if that's what it says, why would they target us? Because obviously they're,
Because like you said, someone might come in and I don't know. You got to watch, just watch, go to YouTube and search the COPPA videos and watch them. They're really confusing.
COPPA if you want to search.
Yeah.
Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, I think, is what COPPA stands for.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just do the best we can. I don't know.
All right.
Sparky, what do you got on the
Anybody
building table?
I think I'm gonna sneak out this weekend and go out and fly. What was the question for me?
No, Sparky,
I was
what
just
do you got on
asking.
the building table?
What?
What do you got on the building table? Anything?
No, but I am going to build another airplane. As soon as I'm going over to John's tomorrow to work on the Tucker, I'm going to dope the fuselage and tissue it. And when that airplane's done, I'm going to build a Tucker Special bigger for Super Tiger 60.
Well, what did I do? I made the new molds for the landing gears. They're about 1 inch longer. I make the the side view of it a little bit narrower, so they're not as wide as the one that I had before, to get a little bit more ground clearance. So that's what I did. And so I started to make a bunch of parts for the next set of planes that are going to start to build pretty soon. So pretty soon means before the Nats, by the way. That's my pretty soon. I mean, just...
You building another airplane before the Nats?
I would like to, but all depends on on a job situation, what vacation I get. If I get vacation, I might take a week before the Nats off to run and build a plane, and then I'm going to take another week off for the Nats itself.
You got the molds already done?
Yes, for the outboard wing.
No, for the new airplane.
The new airplane, I didn't make molds for a new plane, but I did make molds for a new outboard wing. So that's what I made. So, and also we made molds for the new landing gear legs, because the original ones were kind of short, were kind of hurting on a ground clearance. So that's the new stuff. Other than that, I'm just making parts. I'm making locks. I'm making pins. I'm making all kinds of stuff that goes inside the plane. That's kind of what I'm doing. So that's...
What sort of machine, metal machining tools do you have at your house in Atlanta?
None at a house. It's from a workplace.
At your workshop? Oh, your workshop separate.
Yep.
Santa Claus has joined us.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. Merry Christmas, John. Everybody doesn't know Santa Claus's name's really John.
So if I guess we're okay if Santa Claus joins us, right? We are not on the naughty list for sure.
I want to know what you're bringing me this year. Bag of coal?
You got
Yeah,
two.
Coal.
Yeah, at least we'll have a jolly chat.
A free Snap-on shirt.
Oh, no, I don't think I can afford another free shirt.
Yes, wonderful. I hope I'm gonna look. How's the weather tomorrow? I'm gonna check out the weather for tomorrow and see how it's gonna be. I might actually sneak out tomorrow.
Yeah, I hope it's the same as it has been. It was beautiful today, except for one brief little rain we had at lunchtime, and otherwise the clouds were cleared back out, and it was just clear blue sky, not a cloud in the sky. Just one little line of rain came over, and it was here and gone.
Well, I'm gonna get off here, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
Sparky, have a good weekend.
All right,
guys-
Sparky. Let's do it.
You guys be good.
Uh-huh.
Night, Sparky.
Thanks,
night.
man. Good night. Oh,
Thanks.
We'll try to be good.
horrible weather tomorrow. 45
Oh
degrees,
no,
58 degrees, 60 degrees, 48, 6 miles per hour. Oh, partly
Terrible.
cloudy. Terrible. Yes.
Terrible.
I know what I'm gonna do tomorrow then.
You're flying that?
Yeah,
go fly
no,
anyway.
it's just horrible. I'm not gonna. I'm not sure I can handle with that.
Southerners are
Ah,
I had so much fun.
you
with
got
that.
your Christmas. You got your Christmas present already.
This is my Christmas presents, like Christmas come early.
what a fur coat.
No,
You got good flying weather.
yeah. Well, last time I went flying, I really enjoyed it. I mean, just like I had 3 batteries with me. The charging station is quite a bit off site, right? So I had to walk about 300 feet plus, right, to get to the station itself. But it was a good exercise, right? So I would walk back there, take the battery out of the plane, walk back there, connect it and put it on charger, grab a battery that was already charged, walk back to the plane. So I have a nice walk in between flights and put the battery in, just go fly, and just repeat the ordeal. And but it's like by the time I did some adjustments to the lead outs before the flight started. So I said I'm gonna reset my lead outs just to make them good. So I pushed them back like quarter of an inch or so. Oh boy, what a change it was. They were just too far forward, long story short. And I regained a nice solid line tension everywhere. Still flying nice and slow and composed and stuff like that. And just like all I did after that, just where do I want to put display? And that's pretty much how you fly it. Just not a worry in a world. It was just a joy to fly. So
Tomorrow we got 52 at the low, 62 at the high, and about 6-mile-an-hour winds.
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, horrible.
Steve, you're going to a memorial tomorrow with your dad.
Yes, I have to go to the memorial tomorrow. We lost one of our members, Alan Zabel, who was a really long-time member of LVRC, the Radio Control Club, and then also a long-time member of our Las Vegas Circle Burners and a big supporter of our Circle Burners Club when we actually originated it and started it. He was one of the first members to step foot up front and actually become a member and start flying control line and support our cause. Unfortunately, now he had passed.
Yeah,
He was
what your dad said.
he was a really good he was a good helicopter pilot. His son was a world champion actually as a helicopter pilot.
No
And
kidding.
traveled around. He traveled around quite a bit on helicopter events, and they won the world tournaments.
Did he fly internal combustion or electric helicopters or both?
Internal combustion, mostly OIC engines, mostly that he did fly, and then he did fly some electric ones. But you can make a maze of any sort, and he'll be the one that could actually get through it. Where others will hit the maze and wreck their helicopter and have issues and so forth. But he was an amazing pilot, his son.
I've seen enough really skilled helicopter pilots at my two club fields here in Columbia to make me think I'd really like to see somebody on a world champions level, because that's got to be just amazing.
His son was so good, he actually got sponsors for him. And Power Master was one of their sponsors. If you want to look it up, his name was Danny Zabo. And you can see some of his fights and what he did. But yeah, Alan Zabo's his father, and that's the one we have to go have a ceremony for tomorrow. Shame to lose a good man like that. Good pilot, a good friend.
Yes, sad. There's so many of them passing on. Of course, I know that's always going to be happening as long as we're here and getting older. I mean, you know, all of us will pass on one of these days, but it's still sad when it happens. I always wish that people that spend their days having as much fun as we do ought to get a little bit of a pass on that.
You know, he was the type of person. He was a tough man and very, very active and really tough. And he had knee surgeries done. And when he did knee surgeries, knee surgery, from what I understand, is a really tough surgery to go through. And he did both of them at the same time.
Oh.
And recovered through that and went through that pretty well. But, you know, now other things take their course. But I remember when he first started flying control line, and he had his ringmaster, it had a little 4-ounce tank in it, and he told me to run it slow for him and don't put too much fuel in it. Well, I put the 4 ounces in there, and I think he was up there for about 13, 14 minutes. He asked me how much fuel I put in. I said, just a little. I'm used to putting 6 ounces in, so 4 ounces to me was nothing.
Yeah, you're like, well, no problem. This tank only holds a little bit.
Yeah. So we have a lot of fond memories of Alan.
Getting back to helicopters, I love the IC engine helicopters. The smoke, they pour out just massive amounts of smoke. They must have to put a lot of oil in it to keep them cool. Either that or that synthetic smokes more than the Castor does. But that's always, I love that trail of smoke that they blow.
We're gonna be at the field in his honor.
Right.
They have a ceremony there at the field for him, so we're definitely gonna make that.
I was looking at old posts on Stunt Hangar. Well, actually, I wasn't looking for old posts, but one from Dane Martin came up of him flying and a friend flying a half-A Bislob, and it was from several years ago, and that was at a memorial service where they were flying that baby slob.
I know they had a couple of the baby slobs and even the regular sized bislobs, and they have a lot of fun with them over there at our home field.
Yeah. Well, I commented to Dane in that thread. It looked like, and I didn't even remember having responded to it back years ago, but I said, that's a great looking field of grass for Las Vegas you got there. And Dane replied back that it was a memorial service, and so it must have been at like a cemetery or something.
Well, our home field, they water the heck out of it, and that grass it looks nice when you're looking at it, it's green, but it's that thick crabgrass, and it's tough. So keeping that low is tough. I like it when the weather gets extremely hot, because that grass burns. And there's nothing there, but other than that, you get that thick crabgrass. It looks nice, but
yeah, I remember when Dane first. Hey, Lynn, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm good.
I remember when Dane first posted about that was the first contest that I remember him saying anything about. And I was asking him about the field, and he said it was like hard packed dirt out there. And because I was asking about the dust, it must be awful dusty from the pictures I'd seen. And he said, no, actually, it's packed so hard that the dust isn't really that big of an issue. It was like flying on cement.
You heard of caliche, right?
No.
You heard of caliche? That's that hard packed dirt. That stuff's like concrete. It's just as hard. That's sand dirt. That caliche, that's an impact that's like flying on cement.
Yeah,
that's our
Dane said
hard
it was
packed.
like
That's what we have out
Dane's
here.
been on the show with us before.
Yeah, that's what we have out here. But if he was flying that bislop, more than likely he was flying with Joey Matheson. Joey Matheson likes to fly those bislops. He's pretty good at them, and they have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah, that was at the memorial. And it was just 2 videos that were less than a minute long, but it was over really pretty looking grass.
You want to hear about something that flies like a bislop, only it's just a little bit tougher?
Yeah, what's that?
Up here in Salt Lake, the guys came up with something they call the 15 square. It's a 15 engine, 15-inch span, and a 15-inch cord with a flipper on the bottom. And that thing was a hoot to fly. It was a fairly thick airfoil. They call it a flounder, but it's not the flounder that was published. It's just square wingtips, probably about an NACA, probably 18 airfoil, and what a hoot to fly. Look at them Christmas tree lights back there.
Yeah.
Ruben just said the ground's so hard you can't hammer to plant flowers in the ground.
Yep.
I guess you'd have to make a hole and put cotton soil.
Yeah. That's right. My parents, when they bought their house out here, the backyard looked like Desert Storm, and it was so hard. They actually they said they couldn't deal with that, so they had some trees and bushes put in there, but they didn't dig it with a shovel. They actually dug it with a jackhammer, and beat it up with a jackhammer and dug it out that way, and then shoveled the loose dirt as they broke it up, then shoveled it out and set peat moss into it and set the dirt so that they could actually plant bushes and plant trees in there and have them take.
Yeah, because there's probably no nutrients in that dirt that they dug out of the hole.
No, the dry weeds will grow out of it, but that's just about it.
Yeah, that's why weeds are weeds, because they'll grow in anything.
Dry weeds is just about the only thing you got out of that. But to get trees to actually grow and take, or to get any bushes and so forth, yeah, they had to do that and jackhammer it out and dig it out. And then I also they had to set up irrigation lines out there. And that all had to be dug up that same way. Shovel, the ground laughs at a shovel out here. If you just try to pick it up with a shovel.
So what you up to, Lynn?
Well, working on a couple of airplanes and working. That's about all. I got a Windy Cardinal on the table, and I've got an airplane that's much like an Impact that I'm going to put a pipe in, the PA-61.
Sweet.
The Windy Cardinal, I'll put a CAS 77 in it. I have a brand new CAS 77, so we'll try that out with a rear exhaust muffler. No, a rear exhaust muffler on the Cardinal, but the Impact I'll put a pipe on.
Get the CAS pipe and put the CAS pipe on the 77. See the additional power you'll get out of that in a smoother run.
Possibly. I'm going to try it with the muffler first, and we'll see.
Okay. And it's a real sweet run, that K77 with the CAS pipe.
Okay. Well, we'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. It's brand new. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet. I haven't run it yet, so we'll see. Got to break it in and so forth. But that won't be till the spring. It's too cold and too snowy here for that now. Actually, we haven't got any snow yet, but it's too cold.
Now here, the East Coast is getting beat up with snow.
Mike just asked a question back when we were talking about memorials and said he wanted to know if Wendy had passed away. I told him no. He's still racing bikes as far as I know. And he was also asking about Bill Werwich. Is Bill still around, or is Bill passed away on us?
I think he's still around.
He's still around. He's still around. He's Bill's definitely still around.
Okay.
Bill's still around. Wendy's still around. Wendy's still doing his videos on his motorcycles.
Most definitely. Every day he's got a video pretty much.
Yep, every day. It was a video on about how to paint his motorcycles.
Ronnie Layden just said he saw Danny Sabo's heli video. He said he can't imagine anybody better than him.
Yeah, no, you just saw that. That's an excellent video. I mean, he's an excellent pilot with a helicopter. Incredible pilot.
Oh, I'm gonna write that down and look it up. Ronnie Layden. Put that in my notes.
I hope I have half Wendy's energy when I get to be his age, if I get to be his age.
I don't know how he does it.
I don't either. The guy is a machine. He's an absolute machine. I don't know how he does it either. He's got to be 74 years old or something like that, and he just goes and goes and goes and goes. When I went to visit him, I couldn't believe I only was there for a day, and his energy, that guy.
Yeah. I
We're
remember
talking about Wendy.
Yeah.
Talking about Ronnie Layden, right? Or no, I mean Danny Sabo. Excuse me, not Ronnie. Ronnie's the one that posted. Talking about Danny Sabo?
No, we're talking about Wendy.
Wendy.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, Danny Sabo went 74. When he went 74, that's when he's up there. He's in the 70s.
Sorry, I got cut off.
I like your Christmas decorations back there, Lynn, and it looks like the TV.
Yeah, I got the tree. I got the tree right behind me.
Reflecting the lights.
Yeah, I got the tree going right behind me. The other
and the
side of the
TV
room.
reflecting the lights too, so that makes it even better. I think that's the
Yeah, it
TV over
reflects
your
off
left
the
shoulder.
TV.
Yeah,
That's true. It reflects off the TV.
it expands the joy. Big old bright star on top.
Yeah, I put the tree up about, I don't know, 3-4 days ago.
You got one of them creepy ass nutcrackers up there on the shelf too. Them nutcrackers are some creepy dolls. Is that a nut?
No, that's just a snowman sitting. That's a snowman sitting on top of the clock.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was a daggum nutcracker. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I see it now. I can tell what it is.
Yeah, it's just a snowman sitting on top of the clock.
Good. That makes me feel better. You don't have a nutcracker looming right behind your head. No telling what they might do when you're not looking.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to go there.
Might crack your nut.
It might be
That's right.
too late. That will be too late.
I like to keep this head nice and smooth.
Yeah, we don't have
Oh.
nutcrackers in our house. I think we got
So
some
Naomi
at
and I are
war or
getting all
something.
excited about going to Triple Tree this spring.
Oh, good. I hope to be there. I
Oh, yeah,
got my
we're all
letter in the
excited
mail.
about going to that.
I got my letter in the mail from Jonal yesterday for pre-registering. So the
Yeah, we're already
pre-registration is open.
yeah, we're all registered up.
Good. I look forward to meeting y'all in person.
It'll be fun.
It will be, I guarantee it.
How do I share a document that's on my tablet?
Okay. Oh, how do you?
Yeah,
Is it a picture or is it a text document?
it's a picture.
Okay. Well, first go and open your picture in your favorite photo viewing program and size it like you want it, full screen or whatever size you want it so we can see it. And then come back to Jitsi and click or hover over the left lower corner of the picture screen until the screen share icon pops up, and it's the one next to the little hand. Got a little hand holding up like that. To the left of that is the box for screen sharing. Once you do that, tell me when you get there, and we'll talk you through the rest of the way.
Hover over
first
the
open
bottom
up-
left. Bottom left.
Yeah. You'll have to hover over it, click if it doesn't pop up, and it'll have three icons. One's a hand, one's a screen share icon.
I'm not getting
But-
that.
Well, first, we'll get to that in a second. First, go out of Jitsi and open your picture and size it like you want it. Okay.
Yep, I've got that.
Okay. Now, back on Jitsi, mouse over to the lower left corner, and if nothing pops up, click the mouse, and you should get three little icons that pop up. They're white.
Yeah.
There's a picture of a monitor, a picture of a hand, and a cartoon bubble box. And the one on the left is the share your screen button. When you find that,
Yeah.
let me know.
I'm not getting that.
You got it?
That's not coming up.
Maybe you're
I
too
don't
far
get
to the lower
anything.
left.
When I click on the left, I don't get anything.
You're on a
Nothing.
regular Windows computer.
No, I'm on a tablet. Tablet with
so
a
you're
touch
not
screen.
Oh, I don't know. Does anybody here use a tablet? Everybody here is on a computer.
I use it for work purposes, not know how to set it up with this and transfer stuff.
Okay.
I have enough trouble trying to figure out how to use a computer. The last thing I need is a tablet.
Okay. Dang it.
There's a place with 4 dots. Is that open shared document? Oh,
That'll
is that
do it.
what you're?
Yeah. I guess so. Let me see.
Now it's going to a
Let me
shared
click the other.
document.
Oh, I see that. That's in the other side. That's on the right bottom of my screen. Open. I don't know what that does. Click on it and see. Let me click on mine and see what it says. What it does. I want something that says share screen. I just clicked on open shared document and nothing happened. It says waiting. Oh,
Documents.
it looks like it's doing something, but it's uploading something. No, I don't know what that is.
That doesn't seem like the right thing.
It should say whatever it is on yours. It should say share screen. I think that's what it says. Share your screen. Yeah.
All this says
Do you see
is
anything?
select the sound device, toggle camera, enable low bandwidth, add meeting password, start recording, stop live stream, enter tile view, meeting info, raise your hand, or open shared document. Those are the only choices I have. Oops.
Guys, I'll be right back.
Okay, John.
I'll be right back.
All right.
All right, John.
Gosh. Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah.
at the same list you are, and that's under my other 3-dot thing.
Maybe I can't do it with the tablet.
I'm sure you can, but damned if I know how to tell you to do it. Is it an Android tablet?
Samsung. Yes, Android is the operating system.
Yeah.
It's Samsung
Okay.
with
Well,
Android.
I got my tablet right here. Let me open Jitsi and see if I can figure out how to do it.
Any of you guys got any experience with unwarping wings?
I do.
Yeah, what's the best
It
way to do it?
depends.
Hmm?
Is it with a heat gun? If you've got a kind of covering that'll shrink, but I'm guessing you got silk
It's not
span, don't you?
covered yet. It's not covered yet.
Oh, it's not. I'd spray it
Not
with some
covered.
Windex.
A buddy of mine built a wing.
I'd spray it with Windex and force it into the shape you want, and then leave it overnight until it dries, and kind of overstress it a little bit,
Okay.
and hope when it springs back, it'll be a little straighter.
Okay. That's
But
what I'll do. I
Windex,
didn't stress. That's what I did, but I didn't stress it far enough. I'll stress it further next time.
yeah, overstress a little bit. The ammonia in the Windex releases the tension on
works
the
good.
lignins and the balsa wood, and it should reshape it a little bit. It's fairly plastic.
Okay.
Wouldn't
I'll
it?
try it.
Isn't it going to give him troubles in the future? I mean, just eventually he's gonna want to go back. I'm just asking.
I don't know. I did that with my Nobler last year, and it's been fine. And I looked at it today, actually, and
I think,
it's perfect.
Brian, I think the
Straight
point
still.
of using,
And it was badly warped. Like, it was way off.
Okay.
I think the point of using the ammonia is that when you release the tension on the lignins that are holding that wing in its shape, that when you reshape it and they dry out being held in place, then that's their natural memory position. I think that changes their natural spring back memory position. So maybe not, but I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
You can do it with
Yeah,
heat,
buddy.
with heat too,
Mm-hmm.
but you can screw the covering up like that. If in the future, as you say, if it's covered when it warps again, then you might risk messing up the covering like that.
Yeah. I'm glad that's to me warps and misalignments or twisting stuff in the air just to think of the past. I have
See, a buddy of mine built this wing a few years back, and before he got it finished, some cats attacked it in his house. So it's
rude.
pretty beat up, and I'm trying to resurrect it.
Okay.
It's a wing for a profile cardinal.
That's yeah.
Okay, I'm
So I'm
logging
trying to
into
resurrect this.
You know what I would do? I would
I'm
just
logging into the show on my tablet now, so the bandwidth is probably going to go to hell. Oh, it wants me to download the app.
What's that trying?
Well, is it for Naomi?
My buddy, like I say, he
it's
started
your
building
buddy, yeah.
it, but I'm trying to resurrect.
Yeah, Are you still there?
Did he disappear? I've been looking away at my tablet. He keeps coming and going. He does that every night. So he'll be
Okay.
back.
Yeah. Len, what I want to
Okay.
say is just
Yeah, I'm gonna step away from it.
so Len, just monocode it. Put just some. Oh my goodness.
That's what we're gonna do.
Good.
Oh,
Hang on, I gotta turn the volume down. There we go. I had the tablet and the computer going at the same time.
That was,
now we lost trying.
no, you didn't lose me.
You're back. Oh, I thought we lost you.
We have a horrible echo now.
But anyway, you
Hey, I'm
coded.
trying to stop it. It's my tablet. Hang on. Let me mute my speakers. That's not going to help either. Shit.
Len, what kind of power plant is he gonna use?
LA 46.
Okay. Try to encourage him to go electric.
No, that's not gonna happen. This guy's like me. He's got a lifetime invested in glow engines. He's not gonna go to electric.
Okay.
You have to understand, we have numbers of motors in the numbers around 100 and change. We're not going to get rid of all our glow stuff to go electric. It's just not going to happen. I thought about it for a while and then I realized I don't really want to do it. So it's just not going to happen.
Okay.
Len,
I've
I
always
had
been
to
a
turn
glow
my
guy. I'm always going to be a glow guy. That's what.
Okay.
Len, I had to turn my tablet off. It was causing echo, but I couldn't. In the short time I had to look at it, I could not see how to do a screen share. So I'll figure it out while we're offline and tell you next time we log in.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out this PIDs thing.
You're trying to figure out if what stinks.
No, I'm not trying to see if some things. Tom may know about the PID controller.
Yeah. What about it?
Are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to do a PID for our purposes, right? Do you have to put some kind of a function or do some kind of a calculations? Because you have the proportional, you have the derivative control, and the integral, right?
Right.
And you add them all up, and that's what gives you the PID, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And
But what
normally I've done it in hardware rather than in software. So I'm not sure how you do it in software. I've never done it on a Arduino. But when you do it with hardware, then you have gain control on each one of those three
Yeah.
inputs, so that you can tune the PID loop to be optimal.
Yes. Okay. So I've been spending some time to try to figure this out for a while now. It's tough, man. It's not easy.
Yeah. Did you get the speed control to work by changing the going 1 millisecond to 2 milliseconds?
Yes. Oh no, that was easy.
Yeah.
That was easy because then you map it to instead of from 0 to 180, you map it from 30 to 150. And
So that's working now for me?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
Oh, okay.
But the math says, mathematically, it's just that. If at 0 it's 0.5 and at 180 it's 2.5, so that means you have a spread of what was that?
45 or so.
Yeah, spread of 2, right?
Yep.
It's spreads of 2 over like 0 to 180, right?
Correct.
So you do a little math over there and you should come up to something.
Yeah,
And then
90, I think 45 degrees would be 1 millisecond, and 135 degrees would be 2 milliseconds.
something
So
like
you have a
that.
90-degree swing.
Yeah. Because why did I calculate for 3 instead of 2? What a genius. Anyways. Yep. You're right. Yeah. Yep. Because you want the 0.5 to 2.5, right? That's a 2 spread instead of going from 0.1 to 0.2, which is a 1 spread. So it's half of it, right? Half
Right.
of 180 is 90, so you go 45 to 135. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you use that output as an angle, you should output from 0 to 180, which would be user will make the how do you call it, the speed controllers happy. That's why I wouldn't start, because I was setting some things over there like RPMs like at 40% or at 20%. I just wanted to have some idle thing instead of full power, just to test it out to see if it works and stuff like that, right? So by
Right.
setting it over there, it wasn't even registering it to begin on the scale of the ESC.
Right. Yep.
That makes sense. That makes sense. But on a servo, you can see it clearly, just runs perfectly. So that
Right.
tells you send a signal to the ESC, but something happens in the ESC settings over there. So,
Yeah.
so that's that. Okay. Yeah, nothing new here. I'm I was informed that we just got funded for the next planes, and so that's a good thing. We're gonna start to get some materials in, stuff like that. Start to get ready for the next build. Can't wait. I'm excited about it. First thing I'm gonna do is gonna be an outboard wing, so I can finish this plane, and a set of one. I need one side of the elevator, so I need to build one more elevator. That's gonna finish this plane that I have here. And after that, I don't know what we're gonna do. I think we're gonna switch to that. No, I'm not gonna do that. Now, when I do the wing, I'm gonna try with a new release system with a semi-permanent, and I want to see how is that working. And after that, if that works good, we're gonna transfer everything all on all the molds and make them the same with the semi-permanent, and we're gonna start to do the painting inside the mold, so that when you pull the part out, it's already painted. But technically, we are not gonna paint it a whole lot. We're just gonna put stripes and stuff like that and leave the carbon show up because it's beautiful. I mean, the carbon just is gorgeous.
Sure.
So I'm thinking just make the parts, take them out, and after that maybe put some extra panel lines, maybe some gold leaf stuff, like for a name and number, stuff like that, and then draw some panel lines and just put a clear coat on top of it and just buff it out. So
What do you use for clear coat?
not sure, Len.
Okay.
We might use some dope or something like that.
That'll adhere to
Hey,
the carbon
Tom.
fiber?
Should.
Okay.
I got something for you when they finish.
We
Okay,
could
Tom.
also, we could
Um,
also
Hang on just a second. Jitsi Meet for Android and iOS does not implement sharing the mobile device's screen yet. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. But anyway, that's the answer. You
All right.
can't do it.
Okay, so I don't know, what was I saying?
I'm sorry.
We're
I
talking about the
interrupted.
finish.
Oh yeah, we might go to, could be a two-part epoxy kind of thing.
Okay.
It's a
Like
possibility.
automotive. Okay.
An automotive something, yes, it's a possibility. But I think we're gonna perhaps the lightest and the easiest to implement is just put that how do you call some butyrate on top of it.
Okay.
So
That's good.
maybe some steel wool and you just use some very fine steel wool
To rough
and
it up, yeah.
yeah,
To
just
get
to
it
give
to,
us exactly, yeah, just give it something to hold on, right?
yeah,
And
exactly. Okay.
and then
That
just
makes sense.
put a bunch of clear coats on top of it and sand them and buff them out.
Should be good.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So yeah, for my planes, I don't really want to do like a complete paint job. I like to have just the stripes.
Yeah, the carbon fiber looks really cool.
Yeah. Now
You don't need a full paint job. It looks
no.
great the way it is.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Because you think about it, if you put a full paint job, all you're doing is adding more weight you don't need to be adding.
Yeah, I don't need to hide anything.
No, exactly. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. So there are two options I would like to try. I would like to try. It's called Createx. It's a water-based color that's you can put it with an airbrush.
Okay.
And another option would be to use some 2K paint, like the stuff that you mix up.
Yeah.
And there'll be the second option. I would like to have it work with the first one. So the reason for this is that obviously it's heavier, the 2K paint, but
For sure.
yeah, but the other one is more durable. So
Yeah, okay.
and it's pretty much bulletproof, right? Yeah. So we'll see what.
Well, the great thing, I mean, I'm not saying that electric isn't a great thing. It is a great thing. At least you don't have to make it fuel proof. It's awesome.
Yeah, you don't worry about that.
You don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. There are some advantages and some disadvantages. The only disadvantage that I find is you have to prepare for going out and flying, like charge your batteries before you go to fly, right? So I see it's very direct. Just grab your, as long as your igniter is charged, just grab a fuel tank, handle everything, the syringe with you, and you go and fly, right?
Yeah, but you still have to charge those batteries too. Doesn't make any difference, really.
Yeah.
If they're dead, if they're dead, the engine doesn't start. Been there, done that a couple of times.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, that is true, right? And but last time that I just said I went flying and I really enjoyed it. So I could charge the batteries while I was flying, and by the time I was done flying, the battery is already ready to go. And I only had I only had 3 batteries on me. If I had 4, even easier. So it's a non-issue, really. And if you fly with a buddy or something like that, even easier because you're spreading out the time. Now you really don't need it. You can get away with 2, 3 batteries easy, like that. So, uh, yeah. What I like about it is the bulletproof reliability,
Right.
and the consistency. I mean, just like I was, like I said, I was flying with Tom Dixon, and he had a brand new plane. I grant him that he had a brand new plane, and apparently he had some issues with the fuel tank and some dirt inside of the fuel tank, stuff like that. So I was flying, and I had perfect engine runs, and he was flying, and he had crappy engine runs. So, yeah, but you have to take care of both systems. You have to take care of them, right? Somehow.
That's right. So, yeah, like systems work if they're set up right and things are right. If they're not right, they're not going to work. It's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I understand. Sometimes the glow system is not going to work because it seems that there's more things that can go wrong. You have a lot of things at play. You have fuel tank, you have fuel lines, you have tank heights, you have motors, glow plugs, you name it. There's a lot more things that can go wrong with glow. I understand that. For the
Weather,
guys who know how to
elevation,
make it work.
barometric pressure.
What's that, Rusty?
Weather, elevation, and barometric pressure. Yeah, all that.
Oh, for sure. Heat, cold, wind, everything changes things.
Yeah, see, this alone, I mean, should be a good reason to do. Another reason for which I'm doing this, I'm a cheapskate, right? So if I'm looking at my setup, versus say a PA or a RoJet system, right? I mean, you're looking at $250 just for the motor, right? And,
hello?
Yeah.
How much did you say for the motor?
I said 250. I meant to say 350, but
let's try closer to. Let's try 400 to 500 for the motor.
This how much they are now?
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. Okay.
A RoJet or a PA are between, or any of those types of motors are between $400 and $500 US.
Holy.
So imagine what I'm paying for them in Canada.
Okay. So if I look at my system, then I'm a lot cheaper just by that alone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go,
how much are your batteries?
Well, the batteries are about $60 some a piece, but
that's not bad.
Yeah, but on last Black Friday, and there are some other times like the beginning of the year, or some there are sometimes during the year when you can get 2 for 1. So for $120 you can get 4 batteries, which are more than enough to fly nonstop as to your heart's desire. $150 you can get a nice charger with 4 stations, and my motor costs $50, right? So we are at about 375. Add a ESC over there and a timer, and you're
You're even cost.
Yeah, and trouble free. So
yeah.
So that's so are you saving money? I don't know. Yeah. So when
Mark, can you unmute? I'm sorry to interrupt, but Mark, was waving at us, and I can't figure out how to unmute him. I was trying to get a word in.
I wasn't planning on leaving. Not sure how that happened.
There he is.
He's live.
I'm trying to figure out why my screen is black.
Mine's black
Whose
because if
screen's
I
black?
don't leave it black, I keep.
There we go. Mark's unmuted now.
My screen's black because I cut the camera off so it doesn't keep throwing me out.
Yeah, that's been a problem with you, Lynn. That's
Well,
okay as long as we can hear you. I think
Nobody
we got
likes
Mark.
nobody likes my picture. Nobody likes my picture anyway.
I think we got Mark's audio back. Can you talk now, Mark?
Well, it depends. Do I have anything to say?
We're listening.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey, Steve.
How's it going?
Steve? No, not too bad. Just got back from a shop Christmas party.
Was it fun?
Yeah, good meal.
Nice. Good.
Everybody get hammered?
There was a lot of people where their wives were driving home tonight.
That's a good sign.
Anybody with lampshades on their head dancing on the table or anything?
No, they just
they didn't party enough. They didn't party enough.
Yeah, we were at a the owner's golf course place or what. I don't know. It was a real swanky place. We had New York strip steak for dinner and stuff like that. Make to think what it cost for. I don't know, probably 150 people. But it was a good time.
All good.
Yeah. You know, I had my traditional one beer for the year.
It's one more than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more than me too.
Yeah, they always, there for a while I net drink and they're like, oh, come on, have a beer. And I'm like, all right, I'll have one beer for the year. Not much of a drink.
Somebody that doesn't want to drink is not the best of behavior or etiquette either.
Yeah. But I told him, I said, I drank my quota when I was younger. So I can't have any more.
I didn't quit by choice. I just realized one day I hadn't had any alcohol in a long, long time. I just got tired of it. Didn't make me feel as good as it used to, and I got tired of hangovers and just kind of quit drinking without even thinking about it.
Well, when I got back into model airplanes, either I had to give up drinking or not do model airplanes.
Well, that too. Yeah, that was another thought is I can't do this hobby. I can't do this hobby when I'm hammered. So,
it's like,
there you go. Drink a beer.
Give my whole paycheck. Give my whole paycheck to the bar every week. And I decided, well, I ain't going to do that no more. I'm going to go flying. Back then, a radio was like $700. It was, it's not like now you can buy all this stuff for $150.
And maybe over Christmas I'll have me a highball or
what?
a highball. You know what a highball is?
Yeah.
I don't actually know. I just know I've got what are called highball glasses. They're little short conical shaped glasses that I used to drink Jack Daniels out of.
Oh, okay.
But not a shot glass big enough to put rocks in.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll have some polluted eggnog or something. I got the eggnog, and Holly's got Crown Royal, so that ought to go in it just fine.
Nice. Well done.
Yeah, it never bothered me to quit really, but with me is I never do nothing half-ass. If I'm gonna drink, by God, I'm gonna drink. You know. So it was just best that I quit, and I still have a license and all that kind of stuff because that's how the cops are today.
And you were a single dad too, and that's something you cannot do well if you're drinking too much too. So
The first time Samantha ever saw me take a drink was in France.
oh, really?
I had a beer with her because I tell everybody it was so weird, and she thought it was so crazy that in France you can drink at 16, but you can't drive till you're 21. You know,
You can drink at 16. What about wine? Now they drink wine with their meals in France, don't they?
Yeah.
Even the children.
Yeah.
But not,
yeah.
the children drink wine too.
But at
with their
16,
meals.
they can have 2 drinks a day at a bar, or 2 drinks at a bar or something at 16 years old, and go in there and, ask for 2 glasses of wine or 2 beers or 2 mixed drinks or whatever they're drinking. Yeah, they couldn't believe that she had her own car.
The more
Yeah,
you,
me too. He's on the rocks, and I probably shouldn't be driving.
the more you want to stop kids from doing something, the more they're gonna do it. So when you put laws that you can drink until you are 21 or whatever age that is, to them is like, oh, I want to start to drink. It's automatic. Everything you tell your kids not to do, they will do it.
Yeah.
They will hide from you and they will sneak around. They're gonna find a way to do it, right? But if it's not a temptation. I mean, in Romania, when I grew up, there was no drinking age. There was none of that BS. Did I ever get drunk? No, never.
It was like I told Samantha, even now she's out on her own, and I told her, I said, you need to wait till you're 21, not because of a certain age that they put down. For the reason is they found that kids that start drinking before they're 21 tend to get hooked or become alcoholics sooner, if they really drink, than if you drink after. Same thing with smoking.
Mm-hmm.
You find that people who start smoking after they were 21 can quit a whole lot easier than somebody who starts as a juvenile or whatever.
Yeah.
It just becomes part of your brain pattern or something when your brain is developing.
My brain was never developed, so what's in it?
So, but yeah,
I never managed to grow up.
I went to buy an airplane, and I bought me a JR transmitter and receiver, and then back then it was a whole deal that came with servos and everything. It was a package deal.
Mm-hmm.
And a new Super Tiger 40 and stuff like that. I had to save my money, so I couldn't drink and do both. So I decided to fly model airplanes.
I think it's kind of funny when Len says they have hundreds of engines. I'm looking at some people having so many engines. I was like, how in the world do you get so many? And it's like I can count them. I think I'm being conservative, and I say on 2 hands as how many engines I had since I came in the United States, right?
Yeah.
Because I had a Magnum Pro 45, then I had an FP40, I had an OS-35, an old OS-35 control line plane. The next one was a OS Max 46 VF, PA51, and Roger 65. That's it.
Yeah, I haven't bought any engines in a long time, but I still run. I try to run, I don't know, 7 or 8 every year, put them on the bench and run them and stuff.
I don't do it just for the heck of it. No, no.
But I've always been a motorhead, just like motors, you know. But
Oh, wait a second. I had another FP40. That was not control line. That was just a regular motor. And an RJL60. No, that's it. That's it. I'm stopping here. This is it.
I don't know.
I'll just,
I may have 30 or 40. I don't have as many as I used to have.
Yeah.
But a lot of times I buy stuff, you know, like this Enya. It's brand new. It's never, you know, been in an airplane. But I always wanted one. And when it came up on eBay as a good deal, I bought it. I have an airplane to put it in, but I never finished the airplane and never flew the thing. So
yeah. I'm kind of frugal from that point of view. If I don't need it, I don't get it.
yeah.
So, and that's the end of it. Right now I have a total of 2 planes control line. No, 3. 3. One needs to have some repair on tail wheel. One of them has a PA60, which is Mark McKinney's plane and motor. He gave it to me so I can get out and play and have some fun with that. That's the only IC plane that I have, and I have my son's plane, which is and Revolutions. That's all I have. No other planes control line. And I have a few gliders, DLGs, and different sizes and shapes. About 4 of them, and that's my whole thing. That's all I have.
Yeah, I don't know how many damn kits I got, airplanes, but it's just a deal where I figure, it's like with that Enya 60, I paid I think it was $130 for it. I mean, I have friends that spend almost that much a week on beer.
Easily.
And they piss that down the drain, and I got that motor there, and I can always sell it.
Yeah.
Same with the kits. All my kits, I can sell them kits if I wanted to get my money back out of them.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't spend money on liquor and wild women or anything else.
Yep.
What about unwild women?
What's that?
What about unwild women?
Yeah, what about tame women?
I never cared for the unwild ones.
Of course.
Well, it's like Samantha, My brother's like, she spent, I don't know. I know the phone was $800 some, but she got a trade in. I think it was $400 some she spent. He's like, oh my God, she spent that on a phone. I said, I'd rather have her spend her money on that than out drinking or buying dope or whatever.
Exactly.
At least when I know she spent $400, she saved that money up. She wasn't wasting it on
drugs and beer,
stuff like that. So
yeah, exactly. Good for her.
But yeah, it was, I always showed her that we could have fun without drinking, getting drunk and stuff like that.
Right. I've had fun since 1987 without drinking, and I only had 1 beer.
Well, she says now, she got to see both sides of it. The my side of the family, everybody being drunk and doing drugs and all this kind of stuff and having nothing. Paying high, all you get out of that kind of stuff is they pay really high insurance rates for getting caught, drunk driving, this and that and everything else, It's like otherwise do something else that's fun. But to each their own.
Exactly.
John, how is the project with Dennis Adamson going? The twin.
You know, I'm not sure. I'm hoping that he's doing something on it. He has the files to cut the parts with a laser.
Mm-hmm.
Hope it goes. You know, I posted. I've got that one picture posted on Stunt Hangar under the CAD Classics on the vendors forum.
Oh,
You look
okay.
at, and yeah, and that's there. I've got a lot of others. I've actually got a whole building thing that I can't see. I posted it once on Stunt Hangars way back somewhere 10, 15 years ago, about 10 years ago. But I really want to see that going. I've still got the remains of the original one. It's not going to be that hard to put it back together. So I don't know.
What you need,
I got a couple. Go
what
ahead.
you need him to do, John, is have him cut you a kit, so you can
know-
test build it. I mean, if you see all the airplanes he's got there that he test builds, I mean, he writes the programs that, then he gets them burned, then he test fits everything, builds it, writes a book, takes pictures, all that kind of stuff. You know, so I know everybody wants to do this one, do that one, do this one. It's like, you know, when he did that one for me, I'm like, hey, if you do this, I'll build it, take the pictures, and send to you. And he burnt me that nose and stuff for that Staris, you know, to turn it into electric.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll just talk to him about it because I know John will cut me the kit. You know,
Yeah,
he's
it's
done
more,
it before.
I was talking to him about Miss Ellie.
When I built the original, you know, I always put a pattern sheet with my plans. When I built the original, I just set the pattern sheets on the balsa wood, cut it out on the jigsaw, and then used the sanding disc, and brought it down to fine to the line. And it only took me maybe 3 hours to cut all the parts for that plane.
Oh, okay.
So if I can't get him to cut me one, I might just do that again.
Well, I think he'll finish it up, and you know, he can make the nacelles. You know, if you wanted to use electric retracts or not, you know, he can put all that stuff in there. But I think, you know, he's so far along, but I think that a lot of it, he doesn't have enough time to do all the stuff. You know, I talked him into turning the Miss Ellie into an electric. You know, a 25 size electric that would work and everything. You know, he's been doing that, but plus he does all that other stuff for John, and you know, it just gets overwhelmed.
Oh yeah,
that's good that he's got the time.
Well, what I would like to do is see. I've got the plans for it as an IC, but that plane really needs to be electric. I think any twin will be better as an electric than as an IC. I've fought and fought and fought. I've had twins for 15, 20 years that I've fought with, trying to get the engine runs right. And once you get them right, you know, once in a while you get them right, they really work well. But as an electric, they work well right off the bat.
Yeah.
So I'd like to take advantage of what he's doing with electric and have him cut me one for the electric and send me the files so I can bring up and print myself out a set of plans.
Yeah,
you know, if you do this anyways, right? If you make the files and you cut one plane and stuff like that, why not cut a second one and use some different airfoils or something like that? Because I think that airfoil that was on the picture is great for IC, but I don't think it's good for electric.
You may be right. That's a what is it? It starts with a W. The airfoil. It's one that I talked to Norm Whittle about. He uses that on his Sultans all the time, and he says it's a very good airfoil. he studied it out quite a bit. So I don't know, you know. I have my
use the same airfoil but a thinner section.
a thinner section.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
just scale it
Yeah, that
down
might be
in a
worthwhile.
wide direction.
Yeah, that's that.
Scale it down in a
That
wide
wing that I'm building, that's the same thing. I got. I wanted to go back to like a nobler, how thin a nobler wing was, and to do a.
Yeah.
I mean, even
Well, the
if
nobler, the nobler really flies well if it's at 40 ounces or 38 ounces, especially. They'll fly really well on that airfoil. But you start packing them on, you get up 45, 46, 47 ounces, they start to suffer.
okay.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'm hoping that it comes in. I've been weighing everything. It looks like it's going to come in pretty light.
Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to bring it in around 40 ounces.
Yeah. What I'm thinking
That'll
is
be
that
good.
the way I look at it is that we have plenty of lift even on the thinner airfoil sections. There are wings out there that are so much thinner and they create a buku loads of lift, right? Now electric loves a thinner airfoil because then you can go with a higher pitch prop and rev them lower RPM. And they love that too on top in addition to that. So it's a win-win situation. And as long as it's not winding up, or as long as you have the speed under control in a dive or something like that, I think the airfoil is thick enough. I think the only thing is if it speeds up on a dive, on a downline or something like that, then you went too thin, right? But
Yeah.
if it doesn't, I think if you play on the edge over there, you're just fine.
You make a good point, Trian. You make a very good point. It wouldn't be that hard to cut two, one with one airfoil and the other with another, you know.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, because Dennis is
everything else is the same.
Yeah.
Dennis is working on. I think he's got it. I don't know if he's cut it yet or not, but he's working on a lot thinner wing for electric. He was talking about percentage, and I don't know, but yeah, you talk to him, and he can tell you what his thoughts are on that. His is along with Trian's on with electric to go back to a thinner wing.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thicker wing came about with people trying to control the power of some of those bigger engines.
Yeah.
Windy was clear up to 20%. Windy was clear up to 20% or bigger or thicker at times with his.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Some of his wings were up to 3 inches thick.
That's right.
The Strega was 3 inches thick. The Tsunami was 3 inches thick.
Good God.
Very thick airfoils.
What was the cord, including the flap? You know?
I can check. Hang on. I'll be right back.
All right.
Mine is 2 inches and 1/8.
2 inches 1/8.
Yep. And it's
That's
10 inch.
about
And it's 10-inch cord, and it has the flaps is 3 and 3 1/4 at the root.
Yeah. I'm gonna compare that little twin with yours. Then when I bring it up next time, I'll look at it. I don't think that airfoil is any thicker than yours.
But you have a much smaller wing.
Smaller airplane. It's a smaller wing and a smaller airplane.
I'm thinking the percentage the percent thickness of the airfoil.
This, the one that we did for Samantha to take to the Worlds, has a lot thinner wing, and it worked, a lot better with the electric.
Yeah.
You have to set your electric up different for the braking and stuff like that because you don't got that big old thick wing to slow you down.
Yeah.
But that has a thick cord, and I think it should have been a little longer and thinner or shorter. I mean, longer and whatever the width wise brought down some for the same amount of square inches.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I think a more laminar. Go ahead.
But one of the things that a twin has going for it is the prop disc in the area that it covers over the wing. And I believe you can get, if you set it up correctly, and Trin, you can probably tell me whether this is true or not. If you set it up correctly, you can get more braking with the props on the downline.
You should be able to, because you got more area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can see that happening. Yes. Yeah. But what I was saying, is that if you have even with a thinner airfoil, I was afraid on my plane. Actually, initially, I said I don't know if it's going to be good or not. It turned out to be very good, right? But I was saying, well, I can always make the wings thicker if I have to, but I cannot make them thinner. So I said, I'm going to start here. It's going to be what it's going to be. We'll just, take a shot in the dark, and I'm going to figure it out from there on. And it just turned out that we got lucky, and it was good, right? So we are having about 16% of the route. If you look at the chord versus the thickness of the airfoil, including the flaps, right? And we are 14 on a tip. So the wing
16
is
at the root.
16 at the root and 14 on the tip.
16 at the root and 14 at the tip.
Yep. And if I was to do something similar in the future, I'll probably go even thinner on the tip. Probably 13 or so.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Yep. Keep it clean. I mean, it has enough drag, so it's not charging. My plane is not charging at all, and I have no issues. And another the beautiful thing is that in nice calm weather, it flies beautiful, and in a wind it flies just as nice, because it has almost it cuts through the wind. It doesn't slow down. It cuts through the wind, climbs on top of the loop, whatever you're doing, without effortless. You just slice it through it, and comes down, and it's very nice and composed, pretty much everywhere. No issues.
So your airfoil is not like an NACA 4-digit where it's got a big blunt airfoil. It's more like a is it now?
NACA is 16 and 14.
Is it a 6-digit or a 4-digit?
A 4-digit.
Okay, that's got a pretty blunt entry. Comparatively to say like the NA6A, which is more of a laminar flow, but it's got a smaller radius. It's just as thick, but it has a smaller radius for penetration. Yeah, you're right. No doubt about it. Nice, good round blunt airfoil. And the thinner cord would slice through better and still have the blunt airfoil. Kind of a win-win situation.
I didn't hear you at all.
I said that it is an NACA 4-digit, and having the thinner cord, it still has a blunt airfoil, but because it's thinner, it still gets good penetration.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yes. So if you measure from here to the front compared to the thickness, this is 16% here.
Okay. So if it was just from where your pivot point is, where your flaps to the nose, you're probably at 18%, and you're losing that 2% on the flaps, which is fine.
Yeah. So we have 10. Yeah, 13 and a quarter, and the thickness is 2 1/8. So 0.125 divided by 13, 0.25. Yeah, 16% at the root overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's overall. But from the pivot point where your flap hooks in,
Mhm.
from the pivot point of your flap to the front of the nose of the airfoil, you're probably an 18% if you didn't add in the flap, which is not the right. Oh, that's pretty. Tran, you do such beautiful work.
So this is the elevator,
Yeah.
and this is more of a laminar airfoil.
Right.
So you see.
Have you got any positive incident in that, or is it 0-0?
No, it's a 0.
Okay.
This is a 0. I have dihedral in the elevator, however.
Do NACA
Okay.
numbers also apply to stabilizer elevators, or is that just for the main wings?
Just the wing for now. Yeah.
I need to read up on that because I really don't know what the NACA standards mean.
Yeah, it's just kind of a old-fashioned airfoil.
Yeah, NACA is an old-fashioned thing, and they had 4-digit airfoils, which would be like an 18% airfoil would be 0018, or a 16% would be 0016 on the 4 digits. But then you got the 6-digit
Which is
airfoil.
the aspect ratio.
Say what?
And that's just the aspect ratio. Is that what the NACA number means?
Basically, yeah.
No, that's the chord thickness, or the airfoil thickness.
I think the NACs are
maybe I used the wrong word, but yeah, that's what I meant. Okay.
Yeah. So NACs I think are more like the teardrop kind of best shape, most aerodynamic, and so like a teardrop, right? Or like a drop of water, right? And if you look at the shape of the drop of water, and if you measure the overall length and overall thickness, and you take the thickness and divide it by overall length, it gives you the percentage of thickness, right?
Right.
So if you scale that, the teardrop, make it longer and skinnier, or fatter and shorter, whatever, that's what pretty much what determines the numbers.
Okay.
I got the numbers on that Straggle wing. The at the root.
All right.
At the root, it is 14 1/4 wide, including the flap.
Okay.
All right. So 11 1/4 without the flap. At the tip, it's 10 3/4, including the flap, and it's 8 3/4 without the flap. So it's 2 inches. The flap is 2 inches wide at the tip. So it goes from 2.
Okay. How thick is it at the root?
3 inches.
Okay, 3 inches. How long is from the front to the back, including the flaps?
14 1/4, and the flaps are 3 inches.
Yeah, there's 21% thickness on the root.
Okay.
So how about the tip? Well, how thick is
the tip?
Yeah, how thick is it?
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'll have to check.
Hurry up. Chop, chop. Yeah, see, it's like, how much I'm willing to bet on a tip is more than 21%. It's going to be 22-ish, 23-ish.
I think you're right, Tran.
They're all like that. I don't know why. Why did we adopt something like that?
Well, there's a reason. There's
John,
a reason for it.
I was thinking too with Dennis, it'd be real easy for him to cut different size. Move the engine up and down in the nacelles. And if you had them that you could change out some way, you could even test all that real simple.
Real simple can be very complicated sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I just thought if you slid them on,
Did you?
and then you had something that held when you slid the things on, it would keep them from going left and right or whatever. If you slid it on and then just put a pin in the back part of it, to keep it from coming off. Or you could do it in the front. You could pin it somehow in the front.
You know how much time I put into making sure that the inside side of that nacelle was cut out so that the wing the tapered wing would fit in it, and the outboard one was set back just far enough so it's fit in there and set up straight. That was a fun job.
2 3/8. I'm sorry.
All right. So how
2 3/8.
So 2 3/8
at the tip.
Okay. How long is it from the front, including the flaps?
10 3/4 at the tip, including the flaps.
Okay. You said 10 3/4, right?
Yeah, including the flaps.
Okay. 22 on the tip. So it's 21% on the road, 22% on the tip. Oh.
Wow. That's huge.
Yeah, and very very bad in design. Why do you think when you see most of the stunters when they do this all the time? That's
what mine do.
Never locked in and steady in turbulence.
That's right. In the wind, they rock around like a rocking chair.
Exactly. You have so much lift on the wingtips, and it overpowers everything else, and they want to do this all the time. You see, this is something I never understood, Yes, we have the cables that kind of stabilizes that, and that's the only reason for which it's stable, because if you had an RC on that plane, and you fly the plane away, and it'll be just a mess. or try to make a tight turn with it. It would just tip stall and just fall out of the sky. Yeah.
But that's why you have to have those huge engines to pull those airplanes, because there's no other way to get them through.
That's why I need the cables to keep them level. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Guys like Windy and
go ahead.
Guys like Windy and I don't use Roadjet 90s and 76s for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Charles is using the Stalker 81 on his.
Well, that's why. Because without it, he wouldn't be able to get through the damn pattern on a windy day.
Oh no! Oh, I can imagine a plane like that in a windy day. It's hands full. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. Probably pulls you hard. You have loose lines on the overheads, top of the hourglass, or even the 4-leaf clovers, top loops. I bet you it's a handsful over there. Top of the vertical 8. Is it?
Oh yeah. My 90 ship, it weighs 88 ounces.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get about as far as the square 8s, I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
But you never lose line tension, do you?
No, I never lose line tension.
I don't lose line tension either.
It pulls like a freight train.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Shoot.
I designed a biplane stunner. Had a pair of relatively high aspect ratio wings on it, and I actuated the flaps on both the top and the bottom wing, and the plane weighed a reasonable amount for the amount of it had over 800 square inches. The problem was it flew smoothly everywhere, round, flat, level, upside down, round loops, round maneuvers. When I got to the squares, that fourth corner, that plane tried to turn itself inside out. And I'm still not sure. I'm debating whether I need to make a set of longer wings for it
What do you
to
mean?
get more lift.
What do you mean by
Huh?
turned itself inside out?
Oh man, it would just bobble, bang, drop the wingtip, drop the other wingtip, and finally, eventually fly out of it. But that fifth quarter, or the fourth corner looked like crap. And
Somebody
so
else,
one of the things that, huh?
somebody else had the same exact problem. I think Peter German made the biplane, and he crashed it, and he was puzzled. Why did he crash? Similar to what you had.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, my thinking about what possible answers might be is to, one, make a longer wing for it, the top wing, and take the flaps off the top wing. Just have the flaps on the bottom wing, make a Cessna plane out of it. That's one thought. The other thought is make both wings longer and just go with the bottom flap. I think I'm getting too much flap. The third alternative, the easiest one, is to disable the flaps on the top wing and try flying it with just the bottom flaps. Any thoughts?
None whatsoever.
I know pattern planes with the guys that fly the twins. The bottom wing is smaller, and that's the only one with the flat tire. It's not a lot smaller, but it is a little smaller, and I never knew why they did that. But there's a lot of people that like twins and RC pattern.
You mean biplanes?
Yeah. Well, you know what can I say about biplanes? They look cool. They are nice. You know, they are unique, right? So they have all these factors, right? But then when you look at it, the complexity of putting another wing and aligning it, the complexity of adding more controls and putting the flaps, then you have many unknowns like what you're just talking about. Is he gonna fly? Is he gonna turn? Is he gonna do whatever, right?
I've never seen one yet that could fly a competitive stunt pattern.
Yeah, correct. So you know, I saw only one that flew somewhat decent. It was a trifoker that John, what was his name? John something. Back in 1997 or 98, he flew intermediate at that.
Okay.
He flew.
I remember that plane. It was a triplane.
Yes, yeah.
That was a triplane. I remember that plane.
Yeah, but it was a triplane. Now you're talking about the center wing on it, and I don't think it had flaps on it. I think it was just elevator. So
it seems the more wings, the better.
Yeah.
No, I think the center wing is the key.
Okay.
But I don't know why. I'm just gut feeling, right?
Well,
I'm trying to figure this thing out. I had a laser cut a longer wing, 2 longer wings for it, and I can build those up when I get the shop set up. I can build those up. And I can swap them in and out because it's all take apart. It's able to swap things around.
Now, was this electric or IC, John?
This is IC. This because I don't know enough about electric to have done it. I wished I did. It would probably been better as an electric.
Because what I can't think. Dick has an airplane. He's built 2 of them now, and his does the same thing on that bottom square. He noticed it does a lot more if the airplane is flying fast. The faster it flies, the worse it turns on that last.
Really?
Yeah. And he slowed it down, and then it'll turn better. But that's what he thinks. He goes, this thing, once it gets, he goes, if it goes over like a 2-second lap, he goes, it gets to where it doesn't want to turn. And he goes, in that last square, when it's coming down, and he noticed it on the wing over too. When you're coming down and you get some speed, that doesn't want to turn that bottom on the wing over. And we don't know why. If it's design, we're trying to think, and I can't think what Actually it's a windy design wing,
Which
but it's
one?
a profile, and I can't think what they call it.
Would it be possible that we're looking in the wrong spot? We're talking about the wings, and we're not talking about the stuff that actually makes it turn.
That could be too.
You know, because the elevator's job is to change the angle of attack, right? And by the wing changing the angle of attack relative to the direction in which it flies creates lift, right? That's what makes it go up and down and turn. Now, if when you're coming down, you have so much turbulence from the wing that, or the elevator in a crappy place, so that when you give it the up control, you're disturbing all the air that goes, turbulent air over the elevator. You're losing rudder, you're losing elevator, and both of those things, one holds it from going straight, and the other one makes it turn. So if the plane is behaving the way you're saying, it sounds to me the problem is not exactly the wing, it's elsewhere.
Well, we thought about that because it has a big tail on it.
Okay.
It's
But is the tail in line with the wing, or is it very close to this?
It's up a little bit.
Yeah. And if
it's not up enough, it's in the wash.
Start chopping down the tail and see if it made a difference.
It might be in a wash. It might be exactly in a wash.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the same thing. Yeah. The tail's too close to being in line with the wing, and it's causing a lot of shit happening at the end.
Yeah. So if you're saying you're losing trajectory in both directions, it means the rudder is not effective, and on top of that, the elevator is not effective to stabilize the plane anymore. And if that's the case, it's kind of, I'm thinking like lots of turbulence, which means simply bad location for that elevator or rudder or both.
I think you've got a good idea that I need to look at. With my wing, one, of course, is the bottom fuselage, and one of them is about 1 to 1.2 chords at the root above, above it on a K-bane, and that puts the elevator about in the middle between them. And if both flaps come down, that's dirtying up a lot of air when the rudder's trying to turn it, or the elevator's trying to turn it.
Yeah.
And I might just try going in there and locking the flaps and try flying it on elevator alone.
Now, the other thing is on a biplane. So you got them like this. The bottom wing is a little shorter. The top wing is taller. And I seen them like this. What does that?
That actually increases your chord. You look at the leading edge of the forward wing, and you take the trailing edge of the lower wing, and you consider that as the chord of the wing, and then you use that for measuring out where you balance and things like that.
Doesn't make any sense.
It also puts the forward wing. It reacts first, I think, is what you'd call it. It puts it in a flip position where, in the incoming air, as the elevator, say, goes up, pushes the tail down, it starts to create the lift first.
Okay.
You're shaking your head, Trian. I might be wrong on this.
Well, the way I think about it, I think in simple terms, right? A wing is a wing. Biplane has two wings. Each wing is independent of the other one. Being on top of each other, it doesn't make any sense to, the wing has a surface area, an airfoil, and a polar for the wing. For I don't care what wing you're looking at, glider wing, control line plane wing, real airplane wing, it really doesn't matter. It has a surface area, has an airfoil, and then if you plot the lift coefficients, lift draft coefficients, you have your polars, right? So if the only qualification I would have is that they both have to be the same, right? They both have to create the same amount of lift, because if one more and one less, it wants basically to tear itself apart, right? If this wants to lift more than this one, the difference in between them is just kind of like some positive number, right? So I just keep them equal, so they both work together at equally. Going from the leading edge from the top to the trailing edge from the bottom because they are staggered or whatever, I don't see it. Doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, that's for figuring. That's for figuring your CG
That's something else. Yeah.
main and your main lift. I think it's your main lift. Moment of lift is figured that way.
Okay, because yeah, you have two
Oh, I
different
see a
moments of
biplane.
lift, right? Yeah, you have
Yeah,
two moments of lift, and they're both contributing, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
yeah, and yeah, but yeah, as long as I don't I think hmm, that's the way I look at it. I mean, it's just simple. It's just the wing is a wing, right?
Well, I know if you get them too close together, if they interfere with each other and they
Yes,
they uh, they lose lift
yes, that's true.
when they're too close together.
Yes, that's true.
I think I think that's why the Polish fighter had that V and then the wings went up on on the biplane.
Hmm.
Was
Possible.
to get that upper wing up higher.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, because you have the each wing. If you do the if you put them in a wind tunnel and you look at the lines over there, how they go around, there's a certain level away from the wing where they go straight, right? And the closer you get to the
Right,
wing, they get mushed and whatever. Now, if
all mixed
you
up.
get them too close, then they interfere with each other, right? So now the airflow is just it's out of the question. Whatever happens in there, and not only that, it creates a lot of drag because of that.
Well,
So
Yeah,
a twin has more drag anyway, though, doesn't it? Than a
why? Where's the drag? A twin what? A twin plane?
yeah, a twin
Twin
wing
engine?
airplane.
biplane.
A biplane? Okay. Oh no, I don't know. It all depends on a coefficient of drag and a surface area of the wing. Because usually, if you look at the wing, you do coefficient times the surface area, right? It gives you how much lift you create or drag. It depends on which coefficient. You have a coefficient of lift and a coefficient of drag. You multiply either one of them with the surface area and some other whatever in there, gives you the lift, right? But the other stuff is constants, right? So basically, it's
Right.
just coefficients of lift and that. So, but when you do biplanes, you probably, even though you kind of you break even or maybe a little bit more surface area, you have a relatively much thinner airfoil because the
Yes, I
wings
did that.
are much thinner and much longer. They're more efficient, I'd say, right? So you can have two wings that together have like one is 1 inch thick and the other one is 1 inch thick for a total of 2 inches, right? If you look like frontal area, and you can have a single wing that's 3 inch thick, and you might find that the double wing it's less draggy. But I don't know. You have to crunch some numbers over there,
Oh, okay.
or just get some real numbers. And I think if you go electric, you're gonna know it instantly. You get one motor on a different plane and put the same motor on the biplane, and which one uses more energy, right? If
Yeah.
the draggier one will use more energy. It's kind of like a
Well, I just thought with more leading edge or whatever, would you have more drag than a shorter leading edge and a longer one or a longer
like I said, you have to crunch some numbers.
Well, what I did was I started out with a 11% airfoil at the root, and went down to about a 6 or 7% at the tip, and it's a modified style of an elliptical wing. In other words, it's not elliptical with a point forward; it's elliptical with the pointy end towards the rear. It's a high aspect ratio. I think I can't remember now. I think the root is about 7 or 8 inches, and it's got about a 50-inch span.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That's a thin wing, relatively. That's relatively a thin, very clean wing. You know, like the one in the picture here now. What's this? It's in Tom's feed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
looking at
yeah,
that picture. It's tiny. There he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, when you go the two wings, it's a much smaller chord, you know, and even though you have the same surface area or even more surface area, I would probably guess that they're less draggy than a big fat wing that we are sporting, especially the 22% thickness or 20% thickness,
Yeah.
21% thickness. I almost guarantee it's cleaner, much cleaner than that one.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, with that Tom's biplane there, it had a swept wing on top and a straight wing on the bottom. I mean, they do that. I've seen
They
that on
do
biplanes too.
Yeah, they do that.
That's a Great Plains
Some of them are.
Great Plains Sportster biplane.
Oh, okay.
And the stagger wing Beach has got a negative stagger with the lower wing forward and the aft wing back. I built Jack Sheik's stagger wing, and I could do the whole pattern with it, and it wasn't a bad looking pattern.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of wondered
But I'm having it.
how they do all the different things with a biplane, you know.
Oh, it is a study trying to figure that stuff out. You read lots and lots of books.
Okay. I'll stick to a single wing.
Yeah, it's just this.
It's easier.
Me too.
Go with a twin or a quad setup, and little teeny electrics.
I saw a picture of a plane like that. It had a whole bunch of little engines on the leading edge, and they'd actually flown it.
Yeah, they were 049s, weren't they? I forget how many 049s on that big old airplane in it. It flew it.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine what it'd be like trying to get them all started and running the same.
But electric would be easy.
Oh yeah,
and bulletproof.
That's why I think anything with more than one motor should be electric.
And Tryon could program the timer to where it started these two and then that two, where it's slower. Then everything started coming up till it wanted to take off. Make it look really cool. Really, he could though. That would be kind of neat. You get out there and get ready for takeoff, and these two go, and then it starts these two, and then it just starts speeding them all up till it's,
Yeah, that's easy.
Imagine Go ahead.
That's easy to do.
Yeah, but I mean that would be cool. Just to have an airplane to take out and fly sometime or whatever. Look at this one. Everybody be like, "Holy shit!"
Well, there's your next project, Steve.
Yeah.
Look like finally this tonight is sketching on.
Oh yeah.
The first 2 hours were just god.
Slow.
just terrible. Terrible.
Now, the other thing is, the Cessna Skyhawk twin, with a pusher and puller on
Push
it.
me, pull me.
Yeah, push me.
Yeah.
I've actually flown them a couple times. That was some of my twin. That was the first twin training when I was, get my pilot's license and stuff. After I got my pilot's license, that's where I went to. They wanted you to fly that first on doing stuff. But has anyone ever tried a push me, pull me in a stunt ship?
Oh yeah, there was a fella. He died. What was his last name? He's in California.
Yeah, killed him.
He had a
Killed
yellow.
him.
No, he died from some other thing. That he actually flew that thing in the nets when he was younger, and it was it had two a fox in the front and a fox in the back. It was a nice looking plane, twin booms. The engines were of course mounted on the center pod, and it had a real mean look to it. He built another one and flew it at VSC about the fourth or fifth or sixth, seventh, somewhere in there. And then I don't know what he died from. He might have been in an accident or something, but that was in him. And I can't remember his name. I remember seeing him. I remember meeting him, talking to him. He was a good friend of Bob Whiteley's, and he flew that thing. Flew pretty good.
I kind of wondered how a push me pulled me in with electric, because then you could, it'd be a lot easier to do what that would. If it's better to have them in line instead of two on the wing, or
I tell you what, I think you'd get the counter rotating and the standard rotation, and you'd even out your different forces. It might be a real successful way to go.
it's that, and I always thought about a canard in a stump.
I tried
you don't
that.
want to do a
I tried that once. It took
Did
off,
ya?
went about 20 feet, and went straight in. That was the end of that.
Yeah, those canards like a forward CG and forward CG with aerobatics, they're not very good friends.
Yeah, I took off. It was nice and level and smooth on the takeoff. Went about 15, 20 feet, nice and smooth, and then it went nose over. It's straight in. Man, oh man.
Bob Hunt was experimenting with
Never
it.
tried that again.
Go ahead. Bob Hunt was experimenting with him, and he had one he called, I think it's Occam's Razor, and it was a slick-looking little thing. And he flew it. He got it where it's flying really good, and he actually thought about building a full-size stunner based on that, but he never did. I don't know why he didn't. He probably found out that it doesn't relate easily from the one size to the next.
Okay.
Actually, I'd say it's the opposite. If on one size, if the first size is smaller and the second size is bigger, usually a bigger plane will fly a lot better than a smaller one. So if the smaller one behaves decent, the bigger one might be good. So
well, you know more about that than I do. I know it had forward swept wings, and it was so he could get the. Anyway, it was a slick looking little thing. I saw a picture of it. Maybe one of these days, if he ever signs in here, he'll talk about it.
Take a look at the full-size Long Easy airplanes. They have the rear engine and canard front.
But they don't make good stunners because they're set up so that the canard will stall before the main wing and it'll drop the nose. So you try to get a whole lot of positive in it, like you want to do stunts. The canard will, in the case of the Long Easy, will stall first and drop the nose and resume flying.
I think something that would rather work a little bit better than that to just have leading edge, some kind of a leading edge sweeping device, maybe like a flaps instead of a leading edge, like another leading edge that goes down as the flaps goes down.
Oh yeah, like a little airplane. Because the other thing I thought of was like a canard with actually an elevator, no flaps. So
no canard. I mean, I'm talking about the typical stunter that we fly right now, but the leading edge would move with the flaps. So when the flaps goes down, the leading edge goes down as well. So it creates more of an airfoil, more lift,
Yeah.
and the vice
But
versa.
it may not want to turn and go up in the pattern. It may
Why?
want to just rise up, with the more lift.
Why? Because the elevator
I'm
is
still
changing the
looking
angle of
at that.
attack, not the wing. And the wing,
Yeah.
if you get more of a acceleration of the air on the top and you slow it on the bottom, it'll be more if you do that, which gives you more lift.
Yeah. I thought you were making a flying wing, rather than a standard with a
No,
tailplane.
I'm talking about standard plane, right?
Yeah.
Standard plane, but add the droopy leaning edge on the flaps. I mean, of the wing, in addition to the
Something,
flaps.
something I've noticed, and I noticed with 70s era combat ships, a lot of them had an airfoil, that went down, and then they'd have just a straight, instead of a flap, just a straight end like a flight streak does. As the airfoil comes out, and then it's got a tail thing on the aft end of the wing, and then it just has an elevator. But I've noticed if I take that thing and I try to plot it, and I turn it, as I turn it, I get about 7 degrees of down flap, because the air is coming up and it hits that thing hanging down. It acts, I think, like a little bit of flap. And so you could actually go with a flapless airplane using that kind of a thought, like a flight streak wing,
Mm-hmm.
and actually could probably fly a fairly decent pattern out of it.
Well, we inherent we already do that on our planes.
Yep.
Because most of the planes, when you build them with that flat-ish flaps, right? And when you deflect the flaps, you create that automatically, right? Because see if you
Right.
can, if you imagine, you see how it's a little bit of a break in here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I get my flaps
Yep.
a little bit lower to about this point, everything is nice and clean, right? And you create this
Right.
cavity underneath. It's kind of similar to what you said, only it's not moving. It's still kind of like this,
Right.
but it's not moving, right?
You get
But
just a small amount of a flap effect as
yeah,
you raise the nose.
if you get about these flaps in my plane, where this is nice and clean and flows right through, it's very effective. It creates a lot of lift and very little deflection on it. It's not much deflection, and actually that's when I fly this plane.
That Australian fellow that had it.
When I'm flying this plane, it's little hand movement.
Yeah.
And it's explosive. And another
You
thing
don't,
is like, go ahead.
You don't need a lot of flap.
No.
In most, right? No, you don't need it.
Yeah.
I think 1-to-1. I think 1-to-1 ratios is overkill.
Yeah, I think the number one thing that made this plane so formidable is just pushing that elevator back.
Yep.
That's number one. I think number two, that what made it formidable is the thin airfoil, because it cuts through the wind. I have 710 square inches on the plane, right? And in a wind condition or something like that, it's just plowing right through it. It's just no issue. Yeah, it's like if
doesn't bother.
No, as you fly level, you do your laps or something like that. As you come into the wind, is none of that slowing down, hitting the brakes or something like that. It's fairly even. When you turn the plane and just charge to climb to do the hourglass, just excessive pull when you're downwind. Another thing that happens, because the airfoil is so thin, it cuts through the wind. So as the plane comes into the wind with the nose, it cuts through the wind with ease and is not slowing down. The same way when it comes to the wind behind it, it doesn't accelerate either. So it's I don't know. I'm probably the luckiest man in the whole world with this thing.
Well, that's like with Samantha's airplane too. Besides it pulling hard when it's windy, the other thing that I've noticed with this airplane, and I don't know why it is, when she pulls in a wing over, and if she does it really quick, the airplane sucks itself. It goes up and actually like it's pointing straight up, but it comes, it comes back towards or behind her. But you can watch that thing just suck its way in, and it's not like it's doing this over there. It's going straight up, but it's creating lift and it sucks that airplane.
That's one of those situations where you might want a little down thrust.
Oh, okay. Because we never could figure out why that airplane wants to do that. Over, other ones she doesn't have that problem with. And it's got a long, a short span, a long cord. And I didn't know if that affects how that, but I don't think there was any down thrust in that electric motor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just wondering. The stream stopped for a minute. I couldn't seem to get y'all to stop talking, and it wouldn't switch until I finally got a gap in the audio. So we're back online now.
Thanks, Rusty. I almost fell asleep.
They missed all the good stuff. Yeah.
Well, that's why he turns his picture off so we can't see him sleeping anymore.
John, if you would ever fly this thing, you probably go like, holy smokes.
I would love to fly it someday. I think it would be quite an experience. I think you've got a lot of things going good for you.
Yeah.
You need to bring it to Brodax this year.
We are thinking about coming to the Brodax simply because like it might be the last one.
Yeah.
So we would like to go to Brodax. That's for sure. And I never went there, so
the one thing is about Brodax, it's more fun, laid back, and you can talk about how to do things, fly people's airplanes, try things. It's not as stressful as the Nats. It's just bam, bam, bam,
Yeah. Yeah.
And they have a lot.
I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're not flying for an hour or whatever, you can go up on the hill and fly on the pavement. And stuff like that. I really enjoy myself there. That's Samantha's favorite contest.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and then people could try it and fly the airplane. I mean, Dan Banjock flew it.
Yeah.
And he really but he had to get used. It doesn't fly like you're used to, because like in that wind, Samantha was expecting it to do this and it didn't do it. And she was expecting to have to correct on stuff and she didn't have to correct on it. So it was like she was overcorrecting in some places, but towards the end of the flight, she got really pretty smooth with that airplane in just one flight. I mean, she picked
the level you get comfortable. If I give her the plane to fly like 4 or 5 times, she'll be so comfortable with it. By the last one, she would just nail a good flight, and that's what happened at the Nats when I went first time at the Nats. Not this year, but the year before in 18. After the Nats, I gave it to Mark McKinney to fly, right? So he put 4 flights on it, and number 5, I took a video of it, which I posted it on Stunt Hangar, and I put it over there. And he said after the flight, I probably flew the best flight I ever flew in my whole life. So it's just you, and that's what happened to me as well in 18, because when I started flying it, I just got used to it. I made such rapid progress with it, and I got used to it so fast. It's like uh, it's 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 effortless, right? So uh, in previous models, I may have like bad problems. So it's like a little bit iffy over here. I have to fly around this problem. I have to fly around that problem. Whatever. None of that. So I had none of that with this. So it's um, uh, I mean, I I know it's from me, and probably you guys think that's like it's bullshit, whatever, because it's my baby, right? So everybody brags about
I
their
don't
own
think that's
babies.
really, for one flight, she really liked it.
Yeah,
And, and she hates flying someone else's airplane.
Mhm.
That's the big thing for her. She doesn't, because she has before to where something happens, and it's like a line breaks and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah,
And she feels bad, even though it may not be her fault or whatever,
yeah, I get it.
but yeah, she liked it. But it'd be, something you got to get used to. It's kind of, back when I rode motorcycles all the time,
Mhm.
you get a really good ride motorcycle that really carve a corner.
Mhm.
Until you get used to it a little bit, you'll overcorrect because
Yes.
you're used to a motorcycle that it's
Mhm.
getting ready to do this. You better be ready to correct and really put in an input, And you get these other ones and shit that can almost make you crash by putting too much input in.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like Derek Barry fluid and Fitzgerald fluid when I was at Joanol last year, and they both had a very nice tight corner on a plane, right? But they both overshoot the verticals by quite a bit. So they would just go level, and they will not pull up. They'll pull from level. They will go like this, almost to this angle, correct, bring it back in, and it was turning too fast for what they're used to. It just was just too fast, and uh, for sure this thing can outcorner anything that's out there, because I'm watching some other people flying, and I'm looking at the maneuvers, and I say, like, it looks like a square, but those corners are, I don't see the flats, the flats are not pronounced. With mine, I turn, and I just go, then I turn, right? So it's a long flat in there, before I have to turn again. But so, and I find myself like sometimes I overturn it, but I need to, still have to fine tune a little bit to balance the, because I have too much outside. I want a little bit more inside turn, so I need to raise the elevator up, just make the push out a tiny bit longer on the elevator.
Yeah.
But it's a joy, in the air. It's a joy, and it's effortless. It really doesn't matter what you fly it into. It lacks a good pilot, which I have not. So that's that.
Oh, I don't know about
Samantha
that.
said, it would take her she figured a couple weeks of flying it to really
Yeah.
get to know what the airplane, because I got the wings and stuff and want to build her one.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, it'll take me a little bit of time to get used to it because it's different. She goes, it's almost like going from a non-flapped airplane to a flapped airplane.
Yeah.
That's the kind of difference on how it turns and how you set up, and
Yeah.
there was a big difference for her. But the big thing was it didn't pull in the wind, and that was really messing with her head.
Yeah, it was comfortable, but she was comfortable with it, right?
Yeah, she was comfortable, but her brain was saying grip, 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 and and nothing happened. And then their brain's like, what the shit, you know? Why are you doing a downwind instead of upwind or what, you know, vice versa?
Yeah.
You know, our brain's like, hey, this ain't right. Something's wrong here.
No,
Well, the trouble.
it's a different animal. It's a completely different animal. Has nothing to do with anything that was done before.
No.
This is that unique. Is that unique?
Yeah,
What I would like to have, I would like to have the CG forward, maybe a little bit more, something between 1/4 of an inch and 3/8 of an inch more forward, CG. I would like to have that. So because I would like to improve a little bit the tracking and level flight. I mean, track's very nice. It takes a little finesse, right, and some concentration. But I think that's gonna make me relax a little bit more, and it's gonna lock a little bit better. But I have so much corner in it that I have corner to spare.
Yeah, Samantha was really flying nice inverted laps and level laps. Same thing with Banjock.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them, for the first time they flew the airplane, I mean, they both could go out there and put it on its back and just, you know, set them right on top of each other.
Yeah.
They didn't have much trouble with that at all.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, Banjock flew a damn good pattern for the first time he flew it. But Samantha just wasn't as aggressive. She ain't gonna bring the bottoms down closer to the ground and stuff like that. I mean, she turned nice corners, but they definitely wasn't at 5 foot. They're up there at 10 foot. But someone else's airplane, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, level flight stuff like that, loops. You know, both of them did really nice loops.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said it was just getting used to something different, you know.
Yeah, I mean, just like and like I said, you know, I was flying SVs before I flew this plane, and the SV11 with a what did I have on mine? I have the PA51 on it, tune pipe, right? And that's you know, it's a solid plane, right? That's a very nice plane. And I really enjoy flying that plane, but
no comparison.
This it's like you know, you go like from a flight streak to an SV11, from a SV11 to this plane is like going like from a Toyota Camry to a Ferrari, and from the Ferrari to an F1 car. Kind of thing, you know. I'm a Ferrari is pretty darn good. It's a nice solid jump, right? But you know, it's like or maybe let's say Bugatti Veyron, but it's significant. It's not.
Well, it's like Samantha's Subaru. I don't know if it has to do with the all-wheel drive or whatever. But when I first get in that car, I just have a hell of a time keeping it going. I'm always just, you know, it's always moving on me. About after I drive it for a half an hour, then it's fine. And Samantha drives my truck and she goes, "Dad, that thing don't turn." You know?
Exactly.
You know, when she's going down the road, she just thinks, you know, you just has to think it and it moves, and you got to put some input in that steering wheel, you know.
But you know, actually, when I fly my plane, it's very docile on a center, right? It's not jumpy or anything like that. It's very calm and composed. When I do loops, it's easy, you know. But if you want to do a corner and you start moving your hand, oh boy, yeah, get ready, because it's gonna turn much faster than you think, right? So you feel like you're flying a fly straight level flight and just do loops and stuff like that, and then if you think you think like, oh, now I have to give you some input, you know, to corner, and it catches you by surprise because you're gonna turn so fast that you can go, whoa. It just catches you by surprise, and not only that, it's just like it goes, turns, and continues going. It's like almost it doesn't lose any speed, or like you do a wing over and you pull out, right? The plane turns and you stop the turn. A lot of planes are just go like, they try to struggle to get back up to speed, right? And when you do the second one, you feel a lot looser on the lines, especially in a wind, because in a wind you lose some energy here in the corner. You struggle to get back up to speed. Now you're flying into the wind, trying to go upwind, right? So it slows you down even more. So you have some issues. Nah, this you just cuts and goes. No issues over there.
Yeah, it's once you get comfortable with stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like with Samantha's car. I bought it for Florida, and I brought it home. The only time coming back from Florida, I drove straight through because it's a really easy car to drive. I mean, once you get used to it, it's just relaxing, and you don't have to worry about careful of this, or it does what you want it to do, and it drives like it's on rails. Little sports car, whatever. Yeah, and I drove 22 hours.
And it's effortless, right?
And
it's effortless.
Yeah.
That's one thing. If I have one word to describe the way this plane flies, it's effortless. You don't have to put any effort in anything, and in any conditions, pretty much all the conditions that I flew into, including those perhaps the most windy that I flew into was at the Nats, and after that I think I flew it in very turbulent weather at Huntersville in that one day, and it did well.
It was 2017, wasn't it? Was that?
Yeah. I think it was last year. Last year was the October session of the Huntersville. Was the second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remember 2017. We had about like 25-mile-an-hour winds, but
yes, that one. I didn't have any issues, I think as I was one of the few planes that I wasn't struggling through it too much, There was some very, very strong turbulence around the trees, especially if you do the maneuvers and you end up with one side right where the trees were. It shook it a little bit, but it regained right away, and then just you can fly through it, and especially overheads. Overheads are just a piece of cake with it. It cuts, it slices through the wing. It doesn't lose momentum, and it just keeps going. So that's.
Hey guys, it's 1 o'clock, and I've been up since 6:30 this morning and going, so I'm gonna hit it. I'll be back on Monday.
Me too, guys. Me too. Hey,
me too.
Hey, nice talking to you, Mark. You talked way too much.
Say to Len, you awake, Len?
Len, shut up.
Oh yeah.
You probably fell asleep.
We don't even believe it.
Tom Rammel's been blacked out for about an hour or so now. I don't know if he's awake or not.
I bet you he's out.
He's got his camera and mic shut off.
He probably woke up now. He
There
just
he
turned
is.
the camera on to show us how awake he is.
I'm still here.
Okay.
My
All
battery's
right, guys.
about
Have
to
a
die,
great
though.
weekend.
Yeah.
you too.
Everybody, take it
Good
easy.
night.
All right. Good night.
Thanks for coming, folks, and you
Good night,
YouTubers.
Night,
Thanks for
Rusty.
hanging in there. All right,
Good
man.
night,
Y'all,
everybody.
everybody have a
Rusty.
great weekend. Fair winds, tight
You
lines,
too.
and we'll see y'all later. Good night. See if I can shut this thing off. There we go. Stopping live stream. Goodbye.